All right, guys, dial in. It's time to beat this challenge.
All right, Isaac.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I sent it. It's called Fistful of Force.
Today is 1/22/2025. This is session 14. This is the Low Cloud Mine Gym Challenge as opposed to the Gym Battle. Welcome everybody. I'm your host Austin. Very low power mode this evening, so we're gonna be real chill, low energy this session, and hopefully that will be just fine. So last session we're in low cloud and started the challenge, and it's pretty simplistic, all things considered. Again, kind of getting the vibe that the whole dungeon experience was more of a challenge than the gym challenge. Definitely more dangerous. This is so far as comprised of jumping small gaps, fighting a singular Pokemon for a bit of refined mineral, and ascertaining which way to go is the correct one. So been pretty chill so far. So again, this is for the Meteor badge. I'll go ahead and toss that hand up for those of you who would like to see the asset again, perhaps for the recording. Find that really quick. You don't know what this does yet, but presumably the gym badges do something practical or interesting. Make sure the recording page is up. There we are. Scroll this down a bit. All right. Cool. Once again, there's no super concrete maps here. If something scary pops up and you guys feel like it's going to be hard to think about it mentally, as opposed to visually, we'll probably try to get a map going. Otherwise, we're just going to theater of the mind this. So, go get my music here since we're getting back into the stream of things. I can't remember which one I had going last time, but we'll go back to good old acoustic for a bit here. I know you guys are just so excited to hear this music again.
I mean, it is a great track. It's just
It is
short.
Actually, where is the... I had the lo-fi version. Okay, here are the lo-fi ones I think I had planned for this challenge instead. There we go. Alright, we'll do this for a bit here. I think the music has been at a pretty decent level. Like, if you have the volume cranked, you can hear it pretty well in the recording, otherwise it's not too much of a nuisance. Alright. So, you guys just passed through the mineral purity assurance device, which is essentially designed to check for at least 90% purity gold. There's a word for that, and those skilled in metallurgy and jewelry, having to do with the carat or carat. But I don't know that stuff, so I'm gonna say it's 90% purity. So passing forward, you guys get into another good old hallway here. And perhaps much to Vigo's joy, as he is rapidly kind of sifting through the parameters in his brain that might lead to more ideal circumstances for fossil hunting, you begin to ascend up through the hallway. At this point, mentally, it would be a good thing to remember that your you get to the low cloud. Here, let me actually draw on the map a little bit here. And scroll down a bit. Zoom in. So basically, you start, right? You get to low cloud, and then you go into the mine, which is basically just straight north. You go north for a bit. Then there's the crossroads, right? So before, the crossroads were like, oh, go off to your left, and then you kind of wrapped back around, went down, and then came back around, met somewhere back close to the main shaft. This time, you're just kind of going straight, because you went down, I believe it was shaft 4, something like that. It's close to the 12 o'clock position at the crossroads. So you're just going straight. And of course, these aren't days worth of travel, but you are kind of digging into the side of Mount Draft at this point. And as we know, that's a very dangerous thing to do, as Vigo found out the other day. So you're going up, presumably to try and avoid perhaps the lower depths of Victory Road or something to that effect. Moving upward, you do find almost a bit of deja vu hitting Vigo. That same bit of wind that you felt, the air moving as you began to press forward. And before you figured out that this was because there was actually a quite large water feature down here. That was kind of moving the air around. So probably a good 2 to 3 minutes pass by of just walking up. Using your flashlight in the ground, you do kind of get the impression that this is a much more well-trod path, much more clean cut. Some of the paths you kind of got off onto when you were in the kind of the dungeon of the low cloud mine, where you kind of fell through the floor and had to kind of make your way around. This is obviously kind of like designed to be palatable to the novice spelunker. Someone who doesn't hike all the time, they're gonna have a bit of a rough time here, but it's nothing for a bunch of fit kids like you. You get a little bit out of breath after 6 or 7 minutes, but at about that point, you see the upward path, not really stairs so much as there's occasionally little grips for you, begins to level off. And you get that full breadth of air moving past you. The air doesn't feel fresh per se. It kind of feels like stagnant cave air, and yet it is blowing. You bring your flashlight to bear and kind of zip it around. You get this feeling of immense space. First thing you note is on the ceiling, a little bit like the previous cavern you were in, there are little reflective, dull blue, luminescent, either minerals or gems or something in the ceilings and walls that is kind of giving this whole area an almost ethereal kind of vibe. Actually, yeah, this is kind of a good soundtrack for that. We'll mix it up a little bit for you guys.
Can I make my check to see if this would be a good spot to look for a fossil?
Totally, I think that'd be a survival check we established, right?
Well, it would make sense for either survival or medicine. I think
Oh,
we
that's
were
right,
using
medicine.
but it's gonna be the
Medicine,
same
that's
either
right,
way.
medicine specifically because of the nature of fossils. Yeah. Sure, man. Either works, whichever you prefer, I think.
Let me see if paleontologists might have something to do with this. I think it might just be identification. Okay, it's just identification, so that I don't need to worry about that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll just do medicine since that's what we've been doing.
Totally. Yeah. So one thing that you kind of know about fossils is that fossils enjoy areas that have ideal soil contents and aspects of the environment that aren't going to necessarily weather away the fossil if it were to be left for hundreds of years, say. That being said, riverbeds and other places of water can slowly unearth fossils over time just by the nature of kind of the topsoil weathering away. So if you get it at the right time, sources of like this water, for instance, you assume that's what it is based on your past experience, could be a good place to look for fossils. Additionally, you got to get the idea that this is higher altitude. If you were, if it get,
more
yeah,
likely to be in an area in which we would find them.
definitely, yeah. You don't know how far under, like, let's say the mountain you are at this point, but kind of glancing up and your flashlight having decent range, and of course kind of being magnified by all the luminescent bits of mineral in the wall, you get a really high aspect of how tall this cavern is quite immense. If you had to guess, probably maybe 100, 120 feet up, something like that.
Okay.
I think Elaine is the torchbearer. Elaine,
Yes.
as you're slowly kind of scrolling across the cavern, you see a glint a bit like those gems, but more like kind of reflective, refractive. It seems to kind of bounce the light off in a different kind of way. Kind of has this white foamy texture, and you realize you're actually looking at what appears to be a subterranean river passing through perpendicular to you guys. It's a little bit difficult to tell this far away. It's probably a good 50, 60 feet off. You see this water appears to be kind of bisecting your understanding of the cavern down the middle, kind of left to right for you. The river itself, it's not baby river. There's a significant amount of pressure, as kind of indicated by the amount of air it's pushing around. High current and a good 15 feet across. All right, that's it for basically the environmental summary. You guys can help explore, look around, tell me which your characters would be inspecting here.
The edge of the river. See if there's anything interesting there. I guess the banks of the river. Is the correct way to put that?
Or whichever side of the bank we're on.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. You approach and are looking down. You quickly find that the soil towards the edge of the bank is very silty and not very steady. Your boots kind of coated in this kind of ashy, silty mush, vaguely reminiscent of concrete, actually, as you approach. You're glancing off into the river, maybe having Elaine shine a light through there. Go ahead and roll me a perception check to kind of inspect the riverbed through the foam and water current.
Okay. Here it is. 8.
Okay. Yeah, you see, sort of embedded in this clay-like grayish material coating the riverbed, various bits of mineral, stray rocks, and other kind of anomalous looking material. This is definitely sort of a catch-all place. The soil is sort of picking up a lot of random bits. In fact, part of why the current seems to be so high in places is because the various bits are catching onto the soil at angles and then forming a sort of natural dam, which is drastically improving pressure by kind of widening and then shortening and making these irregular swaths of water that splash up onto the shore, pushing up onto your boots in places and kind of cementing bits of this soil to your boots at this point. Start to feel a little bit heavy.
This is fine.
How wide across did you say the river was?
It's about 15 feet.
Okay, and was there any kind of like exit on the other side that we were maybe supposed to aspire to that I did not hear?
Hard to tell. The cavern is so wide, and there doesn't appear to be
Okay.
any luminescent things on the far side. Presumably, this is the direction you need to be going, but you don't know for sure. This might just be, another test of your navigational abilities, like figuring out the way you need to be going.
I'm trying to find a meteor.
Trying to be finding a meteor, that's right.
That could be anywhere. So I don't know exactly what
Oh yeah, great
would be an
point.
indication of where we need to go, more or less. Just find a direction to go, I suppose.
Yeah, presumably, well, up to this point, your path forward has been somewhat well constructed or paved,
Mm-hmm.
and this appears to be sort of natural in a way that the previous caverns haven't been. Like the person holding your hand has suddenly gone to get a cup of coffee.
Okay, interesting. Well,
I guess now
15
would be a
feet's a
good time
lot.
to use maybe Pokemon with Dark Vision to sort of scout ahead.
I can call on my Sableye.
Gotta pull out our flashlights. Or flashlight Pokemon, that is.
What?
Unfortunately, we don't really. Wait, we didn't catch
I
a.
mean, you grab whatever you have that has dark vision and you hold it out in front of you. It starts to scream if it sees anything.
Oh, fair enough.
Tell
Is
it to
actually what Vigo
scream.
is going to be doing as he pulls out Cubone.
So basically, you have an NPC awareness cone, and it's just as primitive.
That's so funny.
Canary in the coal mines kind of thing.
Does Cubone
Yeah,
have Dark Vision?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
I'll pull out Sableye and. Hey, bud, how you doing? I'm gonna.
It's slowly nibbling on that red shard you gave it earlier, while just kind of staring at you with these pearlescent-looking eyes. As you look into them, you actually see something you didn't quite expect to see before. You think this thing has actual organic eyes underneath these pearls.
Oh no.
Just slightly more pale orbs underneath. It's very difficult to make out any kind of detail about them, but just kind of an interesting detail you note.
So.
Oh no.
I have.
Well, okay. Sometimes it's really like you see like the big dark eyes, and then you look inside those eyes and you see a tiny little dot of a pupil, and it's like oh, you are actually a menace in disguise, you know. So I
Oh
was just
yes,
little
he's a
bit worried
chaos
for it
monster.
there.
But he's our chaos monster.
It is evil type.
Like if I saw human eyes behind like those gemstones, I'd be freaked out, bro. I'd be tripping.
I mean, Mako takes like an interest because it's a Pokemon, but he's probably not
Anyways.
phased per se. See, I have Psychologist. I don't know if that interact with Pokemon. So I want to try and explain the meteor and see if I can get Sableye to go see if he can find it and keep an eye out for dangers and
Okay.
any degree to which he can report that back to us.
All right. So you are trying to basically just stick the Sableye on the Meteor at this point.
Yeah.
Just hunt it down, Sableye. Okay. So yeah, go ahead and make me that Pokemon education skill check.
Hey,
Nice, dude.
Pretty solid. Okay, so you learn a few things. First is that the Sableye seems a bit uncomfortable trying to cross the current of water directly in front of it. You know, kind of from your you know a lot about Pokemon, your character, and you've made Pokemaniac checks already on this Pokemon. You know, Sableye do tend to roam a fair bit in search of greater riches, but they're very rooted. Like, they have their horde they always come back to, and there are upper limits to their territory. And it seems like this river is somewhat representative of that for the Sableye. Sableye don't really have levitational abilities. They can climb, but this river kind of starts at the left-hand side of the cavern, and it just cascades from somewhere way up on the ceiling, all the way down. So it's sort of like this impassable wall for a climbing creature like a Sableye.
Okay, and the water's flowing with some speed, I assume?
Yeah, significant current, reasonably deep.
Okay.
That being said,
So not
the
something
Sableye
like
the Sableye has something of a sixth sense for valuable things. So the Sableye, after a decent amount of kind of instruction detailing what exactly you want, trying to show it examples, you actually dig out that image that Henry gave you of the meteor and have Elaine show a flashlight on it, and kind of, we want this, Sableye. Sableye just like nods very slowly. It's going to kind of grab your hand with these jagged, very like unkind feeling little golem claws, and drag you over along the side of the river, kind of in the direction that it's flowing.
Okay, I'll follow willingly.
Sure. Is
And
anybody...
how
yeah, go ahead.
how big did you say the river was? Like, could I deploy Sableye to the other side?
About 15 feet.
Boy.
Toshin's favorite word.
What
Figured
is-
it was apropos.
It's good. What is your athletics? Vigo might be able to chuck a Pokeball hard enough to get across the river.
I have a rank 3 in it.
I would say probably a 4 or 5 is necessary, if you wanted to throw a Pokemon across the river.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a stat for it in the thing of exactly how far you can throw a Pokeball. I can look
Yeah.
that up while you follow the Sableye.
I mean, I thought it was 4 squares plus your athletics rank.
Yeah, I
And a
think it might
square
be
is-
something like that.
And isn't a square like 5 foot by 5 foot?
It's not exactly. It's very
Okay.
it's very affluous. Square is whatever I want it to be, Isaac.
Fair enough.
But
What would you like it to be tonight, Sierra?
yes, that's right. So it's going to be just a bit hard. You could potentially make a skill check to try and check a Pokeball that far, but just because we're in narrative and
Yeah, fair.
the spaces are very kind of touch and go.
I imagine it would be kind of hard to loft it in there. Hard to do it without having some risk.
Yes, and it's depth perception is a little bit tough here. You just
Right.
have one light source. And it's a very dark cavern.
Okay. Well, I'll let the Sableye lead me, and if we find a way to get across the river, I'll just kind of turn him loose as soon as we hit the other side.
Sure. Okay. So you see kind of the glittering Sableye lead Mako off into the darkness. What do you think the rest of you guys are up to here? Like, where's the flashlight going? What are you doing?
since Vigo is adamant about finding a fossil, Elaine would probably stick by his side. Since he's so close to the water, she'd be concerned about him getting swept away or getting sunk into the concrete sand.
I do want to, by the way, keep an eye out for water Pokemon that I could potentially catch. Just
Definitely.
aside.
Mm-hmm.
Might find like a relicanth or something. I don't know. Probably not. That's probably going to be in like deep ocean.
I'm just praying for the day that Austin throws a whooper at me. He's so adorable.
You almost had one.
You almost had one.
Yeah, I was. That's why I resent the Poliwhirl, really.
Amber is very interested in where the Sableye is gonna lead to, but also not willing to leave the light source that is Elaine. So
Yeah,
she
she's
will
still hanging onto
stay
my arm.
with Elaine. Be like, where's he going? Are we just gonna let him wander off alone?
Sableye's gonna go try and find the Meteor. He can see in the dark, so he's just gonna lead me.
And you're okay.
This is how you make Pokemon trust you, is you let them take the lead sometimes.
Well, I'm just
That's
saying, but you could like maybe die. I don't know.
Marco, you are
that's
kind of
fair
splitting
point.
party right now. Vigo's trying to look for a fossil. Do you think that maybe we can pause for a second and let him find his
Oh,
fossil?
sure, I can help you find a fossil. I just have to explain it to Sableye.
kind of grabs your hand and pinches it a little bit, like, aren't you coming? Treasure, this way.
Treasure.
And Mako's gonna do that, like, look back and forth, just faster and faster, like, oh no, this is...
It'll be harder
Say-
to explain to the Sableye than it will be to Mako.
You're not
But-
wrong.
He's been looking for these fossils for so long. Okay, anyways, I don't know what to do, so I'm decide.
So
I'll just go with Sableye. I'll be right back.
I'm just going to toss this in here. Vigo has not absorbed a single word of this conversation, as he is
Okay.
currently fully absorbed in trying to explain to his Cubone how to search for a fossil.
Yeah. So
knowing
you,
that the Cubone can see better than he can. And
yeah. So
I will
This entire
attempt.
time you've been just instructing the. Oh, go ahead and roll me a command check on the Cubone to try and.
Oh, I'm sort of okay at this.
Yeah.
Never
would
mind.
like-
I shouldn't have said anything.
That's decent.
I would like to try and double back to help Vigo, if possible. I'd like to make a pass at trying to explain it to Sableye, if it's... I
Sure.
was trying to get it in before he was rolling.
You're okay. Sure. Roll me a charm check this go around. Just to try and like dissuade it briefly, with words.
Pokepsychologist specifically lets me substitute
So it's
education for those things.
making general. Anytime you would make it. Okay. Yeah. So you just get to replace Pokemon education anytime. Sure. Go ahead and roll that then.
Sweet.
Thank goodness. Thought you were about to lose some friendship.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wouldn't.
I feel
fight
like
for
we've
it,
had
except
situations like this where we
Sure.
ask them for something and we're like, but wait.
So Mako is Mako. If you're using Pokemon Psychologist, you're definitely pursuing this in terms of very like clinical reward punishment systems.
yeah.
So like you hold out another shard and kind of guide it back, as opposed to trying to talk to it on any kind of like empathetic level. You know what the Pokemon wants, and you can show the Pokemon what it wants. Therefore, you have control of the Pokemon.
I do want to attempt to just sort of be like every interaction with my Pokemon. I am attempting to leverage my education to instill loyalty in them as well. And so even if
Sure.
it is clinical, like
All right.
I'll be very quick to offer.
Sure.
The shard
Well, so like
very generous with them.
professional dog trainers are like that. That's the way they are. Like they're very like professional
Right,
and
right.
clinical, but like their dogs are like the best trained. They're the most loyal.
Yes.
So it's not you're not necessarily giving up anything by doing it this way. It's just a different style of training.
Yeah. I read all the books on min-maxing,
Right,
command, and charm.
Yeah, you have the clicker. You know, if they do something good, you click the button. So
Oh man.
I have some coworkers that would benefit from that.
all right, so yeah, you kind of you circle back to the rest of the party and just chill out next to them for a bit. So we'll get back to Vigo here. So
Well, I'll actively attempt to aid him if I can.
you're so Vigo, you're instructing the Cubone, and you're like, Cubone, I'm looking for fossil. You know what a fossil is? The Cubone's like, bone.
It's like a bone, but it's made out of rocks.
I'll
yeah,
start
and you
pulling
like
up pictures of those.
you actually
If I can.
kind of reference the Dratini skull. It's like still carrying like under its arm. It's like kind of like this, but you know, more like covered in dirt and rock. And,
How dare you to put sand on that skull and see what happens?
Yeah.
Oh man.
That is a level of
You will lose friendship so
example
fast.
that is not necessary at the moment.
And the
It might
Cubone
become necessary.
the Cubone knows bones very well. So it's not a particularly high skill check to kind of get it in that mindset. You think it understands what you're saying, so you grip the Cubone, kind of boost it up and hold it up over the water like Simba. As
I hold it out and scan the riverbed.
Yeah.
with the Cubone.
Totally. So the Cubone has dark vision. So go ahead and roll me a perception check from the Cubone, if you would.
Okay. 8.
Nice. And there's
I'm
no
feeling good, bro.
there's no DC penalties. It's the same as what you rolled, except it can actually see in the darkness. Totally. You're looking along there, and let's say you're pretty dedicated to this. Let's say you spend 5 to 10 minutes just slowly walking the Cubone along the riverbank, trying to find anything interesting. Probably a good 7 or 8 of those minutes pass by, and you're walking kind of. You start where you are, and you start walking left towards the far wall. And when you're about 10 or 15 feet away from the wall, the Cubone seems to twitch a little bit, and then hold out its bone meringue. Bone!
All right.
And you look in the direction that it's pointing, and you note that some probable, perhaps small aspect, technicality, if you will, of the Cubone's dark vision is allowing it to kind of see past the light refracting off of the water, coming down, cascading, which is almost deafening in your ears. He appears to be pointing towards the cascade, potentially to the rock wall behind it.
Well, you see, this means that there is a passage behind this waterfall. And this is the assumption that Vigo makes, and goes towards it and attempts to go behind the waterfall.
Sure. So you kind of sidle along the far rock wall. It's not super rough on you, actually. It appears to be mostly smoothed out by the just amount of pressure downward being exerted by the cascade. And you get the impression the cascade was probably wider at some point, maybe at its initial formation. And it's slowly narrowed off, probably by more detritus forming towards the top of the waterfall. So you kind of begin to slide there, and you, the rest of your friends, just kind of watching on as you see a very narrow bit of slippery, wet rock behind the waterfall. That is going to be maybe enough for like a half a foot to stand on at once. Probably
Oh yikes.
5 or 6 feet further behind the waterfall, kind of along the wall. You see where the Cubone was pointing, and the Cubone's like a compass at this point. Like the boomerang is just slowly moving as you move. And and it appears to be pointing to an interesting bit of swirly, kind of petrified-looking object, slightly jutting out from the wall. Definitely enough, and stark enough, kind of compared to the mostly kind of black, oily-looking wet wall, that it would be quite obvious to somebody they could see in the dark.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so got I've got this feature right here, which I'm assuming identify fossils means looking at a fossil and saying, yes, this is this Pokemon. But theoretically, in another reading of it, identify fossil could be identifying
that it is a
whether
fossil.
or not it is a fossil.
Sure. You know what?
It's a rock.
I'll indulge you and believe in both interpretations. But what I will say is that at this range, you would be very hard pressed to determine what kind of fossil it is, if it is a fossil. But from here, you might be able to figure out if it is a fossil.
Mm-hmm. Well, of course, I need to figure out immediately whether or not it is, to decide whether or not I'm going to risk going under the
Life and
waterfall.
limb.
Totally.
You win these, bro. You
14.
win these.
It is a Pokemon education or survival check. Awesome. Nice. Sure, man. Everything about this, kind of like the ideal circumstances for a fossil. Except, of course, for the positioning, which is very hard to get to. That's definitely a fossil. And
Let's go!
you don't know what it is at this point.
Mm-hmm. Well, I will as soon as I get it. All right. What am I rolling to get out there?
If you want to just sidle along the wall like you have been, that's going to be an acrobatics check.
Okay, so
Do I have anything I can do about this? No, and I don't think Vigo would consider other options before taking action. So
everybody else is with him, and they might suggest something.
Oh no! I was trying to get a sense of, okay, so there's a thin ledge behind this waterfall, and the fossil is in the wall, like
behind the waterfall,
like on that same wall as the ledge.
Yes. Yep.
It is. Is it deep into the wall? Like, are we gonna have to dig it out pretty well?
It's jutting out enough that, depending on the size of the fossil, it might be easily recoverable. It's unclear.
Okay, got it. Well, unfortunately, it appears Vigo has already taken action. I'm trying to think of how I'm gonna get him out of the water now.
Yeah, I'm immediately scrambling to grab my old rod.
We see with a 3. Presumably, I immediately fall into the water.
Yeah. So this is an acrobatics check that Amber would have found difficult.
Yikes!
Much less Vigo. As Vigo, you with greed in your eyes, take a step forward, Cubone still in hand, bone, as it nods solemnly, committing to the path you have sought for so long. As you take your second step and find nothing but air, immediately slipping, your right arm gets tagged by the cascade, which just immediately drags you off the ledge. And you just get smashed under the water. So, let me go ahead and check something really quick.
Hit by the move waterfall.
You actually are.
Oh my word, that's insane. This game's so good. Alright, while he's taking damage, we need to formulate a plan.
Yeah, you probably should.
Every deity we can think of.
I have no idea which of my Pokemon is suited for this, if any.
I mean, side note.
Release her Zoe.
Zoe?
And get her to use her telepathy to lift him up out of the water.
Brilliant.
I'm going to use I would like to, rather, use my, is it Fast Pitch or, what is it, Fast Pitch or Quick Switch? I have both. Either way, I should be able to priority move, chuck a Pokeball. Yeah, 1 standard AP, 1 standard action, 1 AP. Priority, you may immediately throw. That's a throw a Pokeball. Hold on. Yes, okay. Quick switch. I can send out a Pokemon as a free action. Not as a... Okay, I have nothing. Never mind. I could attempt to catch Jeremiah. That's about it.
Okay.
There is Pal World where you can turn him into your pal.
Oh my goodness.
I can throw Psyduck out as a free action, and I can attempt to catch Jeremiah as a priority action, but I can't throw Psyduck as a priority action, as far as I know.
All right. Do we remember the rules of what was it called? Staggering weights.
Man, that is a big waterfall.
Wait, how much
Wow,
did we just
this
do?
is-
Okay, so the 36 is for you, the
36.
34 is for the Cubone. The Cubone is weak to this damage type.
Wow.
That's
I
insane.
was
And-
gonna check something right quick. What kind of damage base is that? To be
It's
doing
high.
5d8.
The damage base is normally 8, so that's 2d8 plus 10. And this is a big waterfall, so I decided to add a couple of d8s.
That's insane.
So I'm just gonna find
You
what the
menace.
exact damage base is. I don't think this lines up perfectly
Mhm.
with the damage calculation.
Great stalling, Jeremiah. Keep it up.
Find that.
My general thought here is damage base 11 or 10, something like that. So you
Okay.
can tell me what that looks like.
Okay, let me find the chart right quick.
It might just add the bonus damage instead of adding die. That's possible. In any case, damage is going to be taken, and both the Cubone and Vigo are flinched, as that is a property of water.
Okay, automatically.
Just
So
automatically
you said 10
flinched.
or 11?
Yeah, damage base.
Okay, so 10 or 11 damage base is 3d10 plus 10 or 3d12 plus 10. So
Okay.
this is much closer to
Cool.
like a damage base 15 or 16.
Okay.
Wow, Austin.
No worries. I am. Well, yeah. It's a brutal hazard, and you're doing something very risky,
Yeah,
and you
this
failed.
is-
Um,
yeah.
Yeah, I would
Flinched.
hope that the stakes are high.
You see, here's the issue though. This will not such a weak waterfall will not deter me.
Nor should it.
That's what we learned from this.
So,
Oh yes.
so
Ain't
you
no
go.
mountain high enough.
So you can go ahead and input those damage values thereabouts, and Cubone's taken double, and you're flinched.
This is cool.
So it is your teammates that are going to be getting you out of this particular predicament. All right, friends.
Should
I'm
we
not
roll
gonna-
initiative,
I'm
or-
not going to toss up initiative. If it becomes enough of a problem for you guys, I will. But for now, we're just going to keep it narrative and try to figure out a way to save Vigo here.
So I had
Um,
mentioned earlier that I would like to release Zoe
Sure.
and use her telepathy to try and pick him up out of the water.
That is
Okay, so
all.
I need Vigo to do something for me after he calculates that damage, is tell me his weight and then tell me his weight plus the Cubone as he is holding the Cubone.
Okay. So that is massive damage on the Cubone, so that is one in here.
Okay.
Okay, so
What does Flinch do?
weight of the Cubone is 14 pounds, and Vigo weighs 103 pounds. So that's 107. Or wait, no. Yeah, 117 pounds.
So 117 pounds total.
Yes, except for the weight of items, which I don't know how to calculate because they don't have weights.
Okay. Because the game doesn't worry about item weight, I'm not unless you're carrying a lot of items. So we'll just say 117 for now. Be generous. So 117, and then maybe somebody looking at the chart can tell us what class that puts him in. and then we can determine how Hatna can lift him. What kind of DC that would need to be.
That puts me in 4.
Also remember, he's dripping wet.
This is true.
Let's not add more to the problem.
2. For heavy lifting, that puts me in... it requires a power value of 7. Staggering
So this is
weight.
going to be in staggering weight.
Staggering weight, that would be 4 then.
Okay.
Which means you have to pass a check, if I'm not mistaken.
I need to roll my focus on my Hatna. It's an 18.
Oh, wait, you... Surely that's enough.
Yeah, it is. Pretty
Nice.
sure the DC's done.
DC should be 10, I memory serves. So nice. So, it's dragging, I believe, if it's staggering weight. Yes.
I think it's lifting. Dragging is significantly more generous.
Gotcha. Okay. And it's just 6 or 7 feet out, so I think you could probably do it with one good bout of telekinesis here. Sure. Yeah, you let Zoe out, and you instruct Zoe to get Vigo and the Cubone out of there. Vigo, you're a combination of the very cold water and the sheer pressure just shoving you underwater has basically just paralyzed you. That's why you're flinched, and you can think of nothing but just holding the Cubone close to your chest as both of you try to hold your breath. As you feel an enormous kind of power being exerted on you as you get pushed upwards, slowly but surely, the current dragging you further along as it happens. Finally, breaking the surface with a gasp, the Hatna just in this deep trance. No. As her hat slowly jiggles back and forth. After a few more seconds, the kind of pinkish psychic aura dissipates as you guys are now above land, probably 3 feet, and you just get dropped just by the amount of exertion she is outputting. She is super exhausted at this point, just like sweat dripping off her. No. Just plops over on her back, the little hat jiggling more. All right,
Yeah,
success.
we'll reward her with lots of pets and praise.
Totally, yeah. You comb out the little weird Pokemon curls of hair it has. So, Vigo, you're gasping for breath back on shore with the Cubone, which is much worse for wear.
Is the Cubone still pointing?
Yeah,
Wow.
the Cubone is no longer pointing. At your invitation, it may try to do so again with slightly less
Just
conviction.
Cubone shuddering.
Slightly less conviction after taking
Okay.
a massive attack it's weak to.
Trying to. I'm trying to figure out how healing works, because it doesn't really. I can't find how it works, because I have healing items, but I don't know how they work. I've got bandages.
I have more water if you need more water.
That's the thing that nearly knocked it out. Do you want to give it more water?
I was just joking because it's like the enriched water.
3 inches. Okay. Bandages. It's what bandages? Oh, extended actions. Pokemon players for 6 hours will apply double natural healing rate. What is natural healing rate?
Look.
1/8 of their hit points per half hour. And 1 inch for okay. Yeah. Sure, why not? So first things first. The Cubone is injured. So, Vigo pulls out a probably wet bandage. Tries to shake the water off and begins applying it.
Wait,
Were
is
there-
that a? Sorry, go ahead.
Were there any Pokemon? I know it's very dark and whatnot, but was there any evidence of any Pokemon like attracted to Vigo's splash, like coming for him or anything? See any saw him as bait or anything?
Sure. Not obviously, no. And you didn't see any Pokemon, at least obviously with your 8 and perception checks, as you were walking along the bank either.
Okay, cool. Did I roll perception?
Vigo did.
That was Vigo.
Vigo and the
Vigo.
Cubone.
Oh, I see.
It talks about natural healing, but it doesn't explain what it is.
Yeah, I'm looking for that right now, actually.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if that was for Pokemon or for people.
Pokemon are trainers, and a Pokemon or trainer will heal. I guess you heal based off of this. It says Pokemon or trainers will heal half of their hit points per half hour, or not half, an eighth of their hit points per half hour, which I'm assuming, based off of this, means either you heal a 16th per half hour or an eighth every hour.
Yeah, because this has meaning.
Naturally.
They will be healing 1/8 of their hit points per half hour. So that would intuitively mean 1/16. So do you have bandages or poultices on hand?
Yes, I have 3.
Okay, 3 bandages. That's awesome.
Yeah, so immediately wraps up the Cubone and attends to the Cubone's injuries.
Spits up water.
Mm-hmm. Vigo being completely silent throughout all of this, completely ignoring his own injuries as he applies this, and then he pulls out his pickaxe and starts walking towards the waterfall again.
Vigo!
No. Not after that performance, buddy.
I gotta get it. There's a fossil over there.
Well, we're gonna help you, okay? But clearly you are not qualified.
No, I got the pickaxe this time.
Having a pickaxe
And
is
that's
not going to help you.
stay balanced.
Going
Genius.
to immediately smash it into the wall as hard as he can to try and make an anchor point.
DM, do I know whether either Psyduck or Poliwag has like the strength to fight the current and swim through this?
Fighting the current is a very different thing than just swimming across.
Fair enough. But I mean, like, to get to the fossil and to attempt to help Vigo from within the water.
Not if they start in the water. You think the current, unless they rolled very, very well consistently over a skill challenge, they're probably not going to be able to reach the fossil past the cascade. They're just not strong enough. They're baby Pokemon, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
So, that is to say, a water Pokemon getting chucked into the waterfall and then having to survive the current is a much better prospect, generally. Just because they're both resistant to the waterfall damage and they will be able to just swim away pretty easily.
I
Okay,
just
so-
realized my Poliwag doesn't have arms, and I'm not willing to sacrifice Ludwig, so... But if there's any value to, like, having Ludwig sit on Vigo's shoulder or something, I guess I can just withdraw him as he passes me if he falls into the water.
All right, here's what I would like to propose. first of all, DM, I have an escape rope. How much does that function like a normal rope, or does it have the same like in-game effects? Like, how does an escape rope work in this game? Because I did not see anything
Sure.
about it in the main decks.
The main idea I have is just that it serves the great utility of a rope while being easy to carry.
Okay.
So you could use it to like, you could have the escape rope on Vigo so that if he falls, you can just tow him back in.
Mm-hmm.
You could potentially try to lasso something if you were skilled enough, that sort of thing.
All right. Question. I assume fossils do not float, right? Just to clarify. That's probably a
They're
stupid question,
rocks.
but
Probably
okay,
not.
just making sure. Just making sure. Okay.
They're
If
less.
you didn't ask,
Theoretically,
they
would
would
it float, I suppose. But
Yeah, they're going to be less dense than the surrounding rocks, so they would probably end up on the top of everything else. But
Yeah.
it's not going to be a good time floating the fossil.
Okay, here's what I would like to propose as an idea. So, Ample, my grubbin, has wall climber. Okay, so theoretically, he could climb along the wall behind the waterfall. He also has massive pincers with vice grip. And so my thought process was that he could climb along the wall and then use vice grip to pull the fossil out of the wall. Or he also has a burrow speed of 3. He could slowly kind of maybe dig it out if he needed to, and then pinch it, and then essentially retrieve it and bring it back to us. That is my idea that I will toss to the team. I also my other thought processes are that it has string shot, which because of my bug ace stuff allows him to use like threaded capabilities like grapple, trip, and push
Nice.
as like a ranged effect with the string shots because of string shots like threaded nature essentially.
That's really sick.
So I could essentially, if he were to drop the fossil, my backup plan if Hatna didn't actually catch you was that I was going to string shot you, grapple you with that threaded ability, and then use my shift action to walk backwards and thus pull you out of the water because it ignores size and weight restrictions because of the insectoid utility. In the same way, if the fossil falls, my thought process is that I will string shot it, which shouldn't be a difficult accuracy check because it's actually just a cone. So it would be a broad net, and then would be able to grab that fossil, grapple it, since it wouldn't be able to like stop my grapple or something, and then just pull it back onto shore. And that is my proposed idea for the team.
I mean, both of those sound viable. I don't know
Okay,
that
cool.
one sounds more likely than the other to me.
What does Vigo
Okay, cool.
think of the plan?
I just don't want to. If Vigo doesn't like the plan, I'm not gonna like risk his fossil if he doesn't like it. But
well, you see, Vigo does not believe in changing the plan once he has already made up one. So,
oh my
his current
goodness.
plan is to anchor his pickaxe into the wall so that he can hopefully stretch from that point to reach the fossil.
Hey, Vigo, I have an idea, okay?
And then I'll kind of go over that plan in game with the describe what I just described as Amber. Be like,
What do you think of that? That should help you maybe not die, while we can also still get your fossil. And I've also got this bug net here that we can use to try and scoop it up if we need to. If it somehow happens to fall in the water.
Yeah, so this is a manifestation of one of Vigo's flaws. He's already continuing with his plan. How can I successfully anchor my pickaxe into the wall? And do I need to make a check for that?
Sure. It's gonna be an athletics check, I would say, to try and chuck it in there hard enough.
Okay.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
tough.
Oh, and by the way, Cubone is going to be set down on the shore, so that way they're not at risk.
Sure. Yeah. Keybone kind of raises a hand as you're going off towards it. Oh! as if to try and call you back as you are you shove the pickaxe into the wall. Go ahead and roll that.
All right.
I'd like to go over and I'll direct Psyduck to try and help Vigo, just sit on his shoulder and whatnot, and then I'm gonna go tend to his Cubone, try and make him comfortable and whatnot, or it. I don't know what it is.
Say she.
Huh, okay.
Amber's gonna be like,
At least let me tie this rope around you so that if you fall in the water, we can pull you out since the Hatna is about to faint. Hello, Eartha Vigo!
I'm waiting on the result from the pickaxe.
Sure.
Okay,
You take the pickaxe in one mighty sweep, smash it into the wall, and it's a very high DC because this is a water weathered wall. So this is a kind of a compressed, ultra smooth, slightly angled surface. It's going to be very hard to get a firm hit on, and yet you managed to do so. You managed to get a sizable fissure in there and just kind of wedge the pickaxe further in, kind of wheedling it back and forth until you feel like it's good and snug in there. You now have a decent handhold, but that is a handhold kind of right before the waterfall, and the fossil is a good 6 or 7 feet beyond that. You don't quite have that kind of wingspan, but it will help you get a little bit further in a more secure fashion.
I do have a shovel. Presumably, my reach, even with a shovel, is not going to be enough to get to
Right,
it.
and you're pressed up against this wall with very little leverage. If you move forward at all, whatever it is you're moving could get caught by the cascade and drag you down again. It's quite tough as the pleas of Amber swirl about through the fog in your head.
Mako,
Yes.
you're probably the only other one that's strong enough to pull him away. Could you please grab him by his backpack before he kills himself?
Yeah. I'm gonna run over and just sort of I'm gonna run over and like grab the rope out of Amber's hand, kind of grin at her as I just here, give me a try. And I'm gonna just kind of grab it and just run over and wrap my arms around Vigo and just kind of quickly rope him up before he really has a chance to not comprehend it.
Sure.
Or not
Okay,
acknowledge
excellent.
it, rather.
Now you listen to me, all right? We gotta trust each other if we're gonna be a part of this team together.
Roll
all
that
right? So
command check.
you're gonna let Ample take a shot at this before you go and get yourself killed. All right? Comprende?
The bossy 8-year-old has activated.
Vigo, do you think you would be more susceptible to like a pulling rank sort of mentality here? Like, listen to me.
Probably. And
yeah.
also, given that he does not currently have a means after having thought it through. By the way, I completely zoned out your plan intentionally, so I have no clue what your plan is.
Intentionally?
Yeah,
I mean,
so I'm not metagaming this at all. Vigo has no clue how he's going to get that fossil because he cannot reach it from where he is. So he's just going to say, "Okay, yeah, you can try."
Thank you.
Yeah,
Alright.
you were kind of spacing out there for a minute, bud.
I'll release
No, he's
Ample
fully
next
aware.
to me.
It's just ignoring you.
Cubone back on the shore. Boom! He's like collapses, sighs in relief.
As Vigo assumably takes the rope off of his waist, I'm just gonna like look admiringly at the crater in the wall and then fist bump him like, man, nice. I probably don't even say that, just the male appreciation of Oonga Boonga.
Nodding of approval. The silent male nodding of approval.
Yeah, exactly.
I relate to that hard. Oh, you want to try and retrieve the pickaxe? All right, go and roll me an athletics check. It's really jammed in there, man. There you go. Yeah, after probably 15 or 20 seconds of struggling, you managed to just finally wedge it out with a start. All right.
All right, now that Vigo is compliant, could I get that rope back, actually? I want to make sure Grubbin stays safe.
I will toss it back over to her.
Cool. So I'm going to slowly kind of put a little harness around Ample while I explain the plan to him. And I'll explain it again. That way, everyone is filled in on it this time.
Yeah,
so the
Jeremiah, listen
plan-
in.
All right,
this,
buddy.
This time Vigo is paying attention, so.
Good,
You know
good.
how you're great at climbing walls? All right,
No.
so you're gonna climb right over on this wall, and then you're gonna grab that nice big rock over there on the side of the wall. You see that?
I thought
And
you
she'll
were
like point to it and try and show Grubbin the fossil.
Hey, can we get some light over here, Elaine?
I will
Um,
also attempt to
She
anyways.
use my
flashes
poking
the light
technology to
at
help.
the grubbin and
Grub!
Don't blind the poor guy. I mean,
Oh,
at
sorry.
the fossil.
sorry. And then she like flashes over at the waterfall.
Okay. Anyways, so like I was saying, you're gonna climb on that wall, and then you're gonna grab that fossil with your big, strong jaws. And if it falls, we're gonna be ready, and I'm gonna be right there to help you, and I'll tell you what to do when that happens. But for now, we're just gonna climb. We're gonna go grab that fossil, and I'm gonna be right here cheering you on with this rope, just in case anything happens. But you don't have to be afraid because I'm right here. All right?
Why do I feel like Amber's projecting?
Grub!
All right, buddy. I believe in you.
And she's gonna stick him to the wall
All right.
and let him go on his merry way.
All right, roll that command check. The grubbin is deployed.
It feels like Grubbin is one of those wind-up toys, and she just like attaches him to the wall.
Dude, a 13 with 2 crit ones? That's fire.
What the?
It's pretty good. Yeah, man. You stick the grubbin to the wall. And the grubbin starts inching its way forward. Did you say you tied the rope around the grubbin?
I did. Just
Okay.
in case.
Gotcha. The grubbin, not a particularly large creature, and the rope is quite thick. It's sort of little more awkwardly moving as the rope is kind of tied around its midsection. Just grub, grub, and it just slowly inchworming its way across the slippery rock wall. So this is still going to be a little difficult for a bug-type Pokemon, as slippery rock surface. Normal bugs would have a bit of a rough time here. So go ahead and roll me a acrobatics check for the grubbin.
Okay. Ample, acrobatics. Oh, yikes. Oh, that's a 5. I'll take that.
Okay, it was a low DC because the thing can cling to walls. So 5 was actually the DC. Any lower would have been a bit rougher.
Hooray!
So the grubbin slowly inches its way forward. At one point, it gets a small kind of like offshoot, like little rivulet on the wall, and is almost swept away, but just clings on. It slowly inches its way back up and resecures itself. You feel like you're watching Free Solo. You're like, what is going on here? Is he gonna fall?
Hey, you're doing great, buddy. Keep it up, all right? Don't be worried.
Probably another minute of very slow inching passes, and the grubbin gets to the fossil on the wall there. So you want to roll an attack or vice grip or something on here to try and get it out, or
So I would like to either, if it appears to be like loose, maybe I can just vice grip and pull it out, or like we can use his burrow ability and kind of dig it out first. So I guess I need to just make a call on that first. Let's try vice grip first, and let's see if we can pinch it and then pull it out of the wall.
sure. I'll say because you're using vice grip more as like a utility thing. I'm just gonna have you roll in athletics with a little bit of a bonus here. And I'll lower the DC for you.
Okay. 11.
Nice. Okay.
Great job, buddy.
Totally. You see the big old grubbin pincers cramp outwards and then inches forwards and clamps down on the bit of the fossil that you guys can see. And then the grubbin is just going to start trying to inch backwards using every bit of leverage it has, which isn't a whole lot. As you see some bits of loose rock tumble outward as the fossil starts to come free. As it does so, I'll go ahead and check the Grubbin's athletics here, see if it can carry this much weight.
Oh, that's a great question.
It's not
He
wonderful.
has a 2 in athletics. I don't know what its
well,
need is.
you need to look at its power.
Yeah.
Oh, power. Okay, I don't think it has anything.
1.
Oh,
Yeah, I
that's
don't
like
know what
5 pounds. Oh no.
Okay,
How big
so
is the rock?
the Grubbin manages to extract the fossil. The fossil is about the size of the Grubbin, and basically, as soon as the vice grip talons or the kind of pincers start to get a little bit tired, and you can see the Grubbin is just sagging against the wall. When the fossil fully pops out, the Grubbin struggles for a second, and then it has to let go lest it be consumed by the waterfall. As the fossil is going to hit the ledge directly below, just barely, and flip off into the cascade.
Okay, can I command the Grumman to use string shot?
You can, though that is a dangerous thing.
String shot. will get
Oh,
caught
I
in water.
see.
You'd have to pull it back fast enough and then do it, but by then it's too late.
Can I chuck Psyduck into the river?
Telekinesis! One more time! It's a smaller object, so she should be able to do it for free.
Sure.
She is out right now.
Yeah,
sure.
fair enough.
It's a small object, and I'll go ahead. I'm gonna have you roll a check, anyways, just because it's a small gray object in a kind of dark gray area. Does Hatna have dark vision?
I don't believe so.
Okay,
I do have my flashlight though. I've
You
been
do.
following it this entire time.
and that helps. But go ahead and roll me the focus check, anyways. Though it'll be relatively low DC, with a possibility of failure because it's a small object. Nice. Yeah, you see the fossil just plummets below the cascade. After a few seconds of shining light, you think you see it, and you point out to Hatna. It is slowly sliding along the bottom of the river. It's probably good 7 or 8 feet down. Moments pass, more psychic meditation, as rising out of the water appears to be a spiral-looking fossil. Which slowly brought down, and Hatna, being a little bit more gentle this time, especially considering it's a fragile object, places it directly on the ground in front of the riverbank. Congratulations, you have your fossil now.
Yay.
As Grubbin is going to slowly
Identify.
inch its way back.
You did it, buddy. Come on back.
Okay, Vigo, you're looking down at this fossil, and your first instinct is very excited. Oh, this is a helix fossil. And as you're looking, you realize, wait a second, this isn't quite a helix fossil. Doesn't have any of the distinguished ribbing, but the spiral formation is definitely there. And after a few moments, you determine this is actually probably a horsey fossil.
Oh,
What?
An old.
That's
this is
sick,
unfair.
dude.
You have a horsey fossil. Congratulations.
Yay.
You've come so far.
That's awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. I don't know how that goes with the Vigo's character. But as a Kingdra enjoyer, that's dope.
Eventually,
Also
Kingdra
dragon
becomes
type.
dragon
So
which,
that's maybe a dub.
Mm.
You guys can make.
Wait, it becomes a dragon type?
yeah, Kingdra's
What-
dragon.
Oh,
Yeah, mate.
congrats.
I believe it's like I think there's only 2 water dragons, one being Kingdra, the other being Palkia.
That is super cool.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so you see Vigo. Vigo is thoroughly inspecting this fossil that he definitely got by his plan. Yes, definitely. and will claim it regardless of who wants it.
Nice.
Uh,
So, I'll go ahead and say the horsey fossil weighs 10 pounds or whatever the unit of measurement they're using is. So it's a little bit of a burden compared to just normal items. It's a chunky thing, bit of a rock.
this is fine.
Stick it in the backpack with Frigibax.
Well, currently it's Cubone in the backpack.
Oh.
Unless, I don't know, can resting happen inside of a Pokeball? I'm assuming probably not.
It's said specifically that resting can happen either as an extended rest or it's like the first 8 hours of the adventure. And even then, you only gain like 1/16 of your health.
Yes, but rest is important here because the bandage requires... Well, I guess that depends, sort of.
I would say it could be in the Pokeball as long as it's not retrieved for the duration.
Okay. Yeah, the system does actually have both pounds and
Kilograms.
kilograms. Yeah.
A kilogram of steel.
Kilogram of fellas. Bleh.
Wow.
Blah, blah, blah.
Racist.
All right.
Okay.
Well, there you go, man. So what's the next plan of attack here,
Got it.
guys? And how much time are we looking at?
I'm good on time.
I'm chilling for right now. I mean, I'm down to, like, we never get to play, so I'm lucky down to go late if we need to. Even though
Yeah, I
probably
mean,
shouldn't.
also, to be fair, if we can get the challenge done tonight, I'd be willing to commit
Yeah, I
to
think
seeing it
that's-
through.
Okay,
Mhm.
that's definitely doable, guys. As long
Cool.
as the pacing is pretty consistent here, I think you'll be fine.
I think next plan is to follow the Sableye, but I am gonna untie the rope from Grubbin and give him lots of scritches.
So one last thing to conclude the fossil saga right here.
Fossil
Vigo, after thoroughly inspecting this fossil, determining that it is a horsey, nods knowingly and states out loud, "This isn't a dinosaur." He has
Aw.
no other comment. Then puts it in his backpack.
Unfortunate.
Does that mean he likes it or no?
Unclear. He's still
guess
taking
I
it,
will,
regardless of what exactly emotional or emotions tied to the statement.
That's funny.
So I
Okay,
guess
cool.
I will. Did we establish it's Elaine that has the flashlight?
Yes, that's
We
right.
did.
So I will explain to Elaine that the Sableye is trying to lead me to the meteorite, and we'll ask her to give us light, and then I will start letting Sableye lead us again and thank him for his patience and whatnot, reward him for his patience.
The Sableye sort of eyes the grayish spiral lump in the backpack and seems very disappointed. It's not sparkly or glowy at all. So moving
Yeah.
forward, you guys follow the Sableye along the riverbank, I think is the plan.
Mhm.
So now with a bit of illumination from the flashlight, you're able to see that the pathway beside the riverbank seems to narrow off slowly and slowly. And you're getting a little bit more air flow as the Sableye stops probably a good 3 feet in front of you, Mako, and kind of just points out into the darkness. As you stop close by and kind of glance out, and you realize with a start, as the flashlight depth perception doesn't quite do it justice, the pathway just falls away, and the river beside you cascades again further downwards.
Oh wow.
As
so are we on like some sort of cliff almost?
you are on a cliff, and you look up and you see kind of a domed, almost like rocky archway above you, holding up the cave which falls away and gives way to a depthlessly tall cavern directly in front of you. Vigo, you're kind of smelling the same air as you smelled before. This would appear to be very close to the area you explored days prior.
Oh,
But you are far above it.
okay.
It's difficult to tell how far down it goes, but suffice probably 100 or more feet down. The Sableye senses treasure in that direction, but it is perhaps not in your best interest to go that way.
It's forbidden.
Yeah, so Figo would actually relay that is probably where he was.
Okay. Elaine, go ahead and roll me a perception check since you have the flashlight.
So, while she's doing that, you're saying Sableye like pointed off the cliff into the abyss as the treasure is over there?
Yeah, the Sableye seems to be pointing not down so much as almost horizontal, kind of off into the darkness, into the distant cavern.
Yeah, it would be over there, wouldn't it, bud? Sableye thinks it's off into the abyss.
Elaine, you see slightly dusted and kind of mossed over actually a bit. There's some signage actually close to the edge here. And it states Master League trainers only from here to this point.
Yep, we're leaving. Okay, bye.
As you all feel an ominous breeze kind of waft past you.
Oh, we better get out of here. Even the breeze is ominous.
Yeah. There's a big nugget over there. Yeah, the biggest nugget. Vigo.
There's a really big nugget in a really big nugget just out of view, but the Sableye knows it's there.
So, am I getting the impression we're gonna have to cross this river, given that we haven't seen anything on our side of the river this whole time?
Sounds like it. While we're attempting to brainstorm this, can I cast my old rod into the river? Wherever the current looks most docile. Or at the least.
My immediate thought was that you're throwing away your old rod into the river or something.
Yes, I would like to discard this useless piece of junk. It's never done me any good. Curse this polyworld I have acquired.
It can't even get me a magic harp. Get out of here.
It can't even get me a whooper. Alright. So
I want a Pokemon-shaped pillow.
Sure. You kind of you cast it into the water. You're already quite close to the edge, so your hook just goes right over the edge and just seems to bob as you drag it back, kind of right on the edge of the waterfall, descending into what you can only assume is Victory Road.
Have mercy, I swear it. If you pull a level 100 any kind of Pokemon from those waters,
Fight it.
We're cooked.
It is an old rod. How good could it be?
That sounds like a challenge.
Oh man, that's so funny.
Sure. Well, go ahead and
I'm also...
just roll me a d20, my guy.
Sweet.
Over, we'll say you wait 20 minutes as you guys just kind of gaze out into the vast expanse. No, there is no bites.
Fair enough.
In fact, this area feels almost ominously empty. It's just the Pokemon themselves know to kind of stay away and mind the boundaries.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, this is kind of baffling. I don't really have a good idea for how to get across this river.
DM, can I roll intuition? And I would like to preface it by saying, like, Amber wants to kind of get in the heads of the people who designed this challenge. Like, does the river seem like the next like piece of the puzzle to solve, or are we missing something like obvious on the side? And that's how I'd like to preface my intuition roll.
Roll me that. Yeah, 16, nice. Okay, so you know that they're not trying to kill you. At least you hope they're not trying to kill you. Everything up to this point has been like very like manageable, but intellectually and survival instinct stimulating, right? They're not asking anything that would actively put the trainers of the league in huge physical risk. So to physically cross the river and potentially plummet off the cliff seems very dangerous. So you could only assume you're missing something. You're obviously not supposed to go to Victory Road. That seems pretty obvious. And you're definitely not really being expected to be able to like go up or down waterfalls at this point in the league. So the only real answer is across. But presumably there's some method here that is eluding you, that is going to offer you a more secure or safe method to get across. You're just not seeing it at this moment. Yeah.
Question: is there any like massive like stalactites on the ceiling?
Bro, we had the same thought.
Oh, sorry. Oh wait, you didn't mean that you said that earlier. You just mean that you were thinking it just now. Got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I'm sorry, great minds think alike.
Yeah.
No, I was apologetic because I thought I like ignored somebody saying
No,
that
you're-
earlier.
no,
So
I
I was,
feel ya.
okay.
Hey, Lane, can you shine the flashlight up on the ceiling? I'm wondering if, like, we've got to cross this river somehow, but we're missing something.
She starts looking around up at the ceiling.
Totally. Roll me that perception check I got. This time for the
Who?
ceiling.
Me?
The person looking up at the ceiling, yeah, you.
I thought it was gonna be Amber.
If Amber wants to roll it, she
I
can.
only have a 2 as well, so it's a
Okay.
50-50.
12.
Oh,
Nice.
what do you mean? You win those, bro.
Good work. Double 6. Okay. Yeah, dude. You're looking up and you see kind of outlined against the ceiling. You do see various stalactites hanging.
Is
several-
anyone allowed to look up? Or is it
several-
too roll?
You're looking up, but one person makes the perception check just to keep it manageable
Okay,
and easy.
gotcha.
And yeah, the flashlight doesn't quite reach all the way up, but you do see kind of silhouetted against the seemingly either bioluminescent or extremely reflective bits of mineral on the ceiling, what appears to be the outline of some kind of bridge or netted mesh or something to that effect that is all coiled up in the shadow of one of these stalactites.
So what I'm hearing is monkey bars.
Well, how are
You don't know. It's some kind of artificial construct up there.
The real question is, well, I mean,
What's the obvious path to get up there?
obviously a Pokemon could like climb up there, or we could just like shoot it down or something. But like, if it's something that we need to like lower rather than like shoot down, like we gotta be like careful about it. Like if we rip the net in two by attacking it, then we don't want to. That's not going to be useful to us
Right.
anymore.
Because I imagine this is the kind of challenge that they're going to be repeating for other people.
Yeah, we need to
So,
figure out
I'm
what we're
assuming there's,
actually
like, some
dealing
kind of-
with.
Lever system, like where someone pulls a rope and it pulls down a bridge.
Perhaps.
Okay.
But also remember that Henry was saying that you must be reliant on your Pokemon here. Some of these challenges are simply not possible by humans.
Right. Well, I mean, I could send my Pokemon to go and interact with it, like throw the rope to me or something. I don't know.
I wish we knew a better idea of what it was. I feel like that would make it easier for us to proceed, but I don't know besides
Elaine?
the perception of how we would do that.
It's going to send Ruby up with the instructions to investigate the rope more.
Totally. Yeah, you send Ruby up. It climbs up the wall. Probably a good minute of just scuttling as it surmounts the enormous cavern walls and slowly gets to about where you're pointing with the flashlight. Go ahead. Let's see, what would a relevant skill check here be for Ruby? Yeah, go ahead and have Ruby just roll a perception check here. I think that'll probably be fine. Unlikely to
those
fail.
than I am.
Nice. You see, at this point the flashlight can't quite reach, but vaguely silhouetted against the minerals again. You see Ruby pause for a few seconds, and then you see Ruby approach the artificial construct on the ceiling with actually kind of sudden speed. It seems a little bit odd. And you hear what sounds like sounds of nibbling. As you hear a as a series of nets and kind of wooden ladder meshes fold out along the entire breadth of the river. Not horizontally, but vertically. It is a net mesh that is spanning across the river. Almost think like a climbing net. Wooden boards hold the bottom of the net to the bottom of the riverbed, and this is actually quite close to where the entrance is. This is much closer to where the waterfall comes down than where it kind of ends and terminates off the cliff.
Back where we found the fossil, we turned around.
Yeah, well, if you think of where you came in, the doorway there kind of being the midpoint between the waterfall on the left and the waterfall on the right. This net mesh is almost directly in front of the entrance that you came in through. Yeah, so it appears there is a kind of a rope climbing mesh challenge directly in front of the door there. As Ruby scuttles back down, and you can see in her little pincers a half-eaten oranberry.
Ah, nice. I was like, surely it had to be a treat or something. But that was good because it helps them like intuit it, because otherwise it would be hard for, if we can't see and they can't intuit it, then that would be difficult. So that's good. I like that.
Yeah, Ruby will give many praises. Or, I'm sorry, Elaine will give Ruby many praises. And
Ruby will praise its trainer for sending it to go get a treat.
I praise thee, my maker, my trainer, rather.
So, does this expand up to the ceiling? Does there like an obvious cave that we're trying to crawl into, or is this just crawling over the river? Like how? Like help me. My mind space is not complete. I don't know how to.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out.
Sure. It is a mesh that spans across the river, presumably for you to climb across. Looking up, you see one of those wooden slats that I mentioned earlier are like there's a number of them, probably 12 or 13 feet up, that would be probably impeding your ability to climb up any further.
Okay, so we're just supposed to monkey across this thing.
Seems like, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Amber will take a stab at it. She'll be like,
all right, Grubbin, come back for now. I'll get you out later.
and she'll put away Grubbin, and then she will get to climbing.
Pew! Yep. Pokeball comes back, and you begin the climbing. So just a very low DC acrobatics check here to climb across.
15.
Perfect. Amber flies across. She basically just jumps, lands mid-net, and then jumps again, and she's across the river.
Does it have to
Oh yeah,
be?
guys, that's easy. Come on.
Says the 8-year-old girl who weighs 100 pounds soaking wet.
41.
Malnourished.
Yeah.
Amber goes, haha, I'm an orphan!
Okay, who's next?
I guess I'll do it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Amber will get out Grubbin while they're like speculating who's gonna go next and be like,
Maybe just in case one of them falls in, we can be ready, right, Grubbin?
So are we actually climbing across these, like
You are.
across the ceiling, kind of?
No,
Okay.
it's you're climbing across a net at eye level
And I love-
Mhm.
Oh, over the
over the river.
Over the water,
Yeah. Oh, okay. I
going
see.
across it to the other side.
It's
not
basically
like
a bridge
vertical
made out
thing
of
you can
net.
Crawl across. It's vertical, so it's not.
Oh,
You have to like crawl
okay.
along the side, if I'm understanding this
Yep,
correctly.
that's
Did you ever
correct.
go to like a park where they had like the rope spider
that makes
web?
so much
Yeah,
sense
like
now.
ones with,
That's
Thank you,
like-
basically what that
Jeremiah.
is.
I've probably seen more pictures than done it myself, but
So we're
That
talking
description made so much more sense.
yeah. Okay,
Right.
gotcha. So do we still want to tie two people together with the escape rope? Or are we just kind of scurrying across with the reckless abandon of children?
Elaine
you
would love
can't-
to have a safety rope. She would prefer Vigo. No offense.
The only
Actually-
issue is that Amber currently has the rope and is already across.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, well then, go for it.
Problem solved. There is no safety net. We just have to go.
Just do it.
Which is honestly the more canonical thing. The 8-year-old would just scurry across without thinking.
Yeah. Play into the flaws of your characters. It's more fun. I know. I got hit by a waterfall. Anyway, anyway,
Roll,
yeah.
roll.
Before I do that, just at the risk of potentially falling in and interrupting Cubone's rest, Vigo will commit to sending in Cubone into the Pokeball for the next 6 hours in hopes of
Okay,
the
sure,
recovery happening.
definitely.
And, I'm gonna pull out Frigibax instead because I always have to have at least one buddy out.
Free. It says,
Free.
stating its freedom.
Yeah. It's now sharing its backpack with a fossil, so well, guess it can do with that what it will. Here we go! Across the net and into the water. Oh, okay.
Nice.
You're good. Yep. It takes a little bit of getting used to as the net seems to give a little bit as you put your weight on it and kind of flop from side to side. But there's enough tension on the net with the wood boards at the bottom that it's not a particularly hard spiderweb to climb. And in a few moments you're right across. So Amber's gone, Vigo's gone, Mako and Elaine remain, I think.
I'm gonna turn to Elaine and be like,
Just the absolute terror. Like she's disassociating right now.
Mako will start to talk, realize that, and be like, "Oh, we're in the same boat. I teased you for dropping my phone, but I'm about as clumsy as you. This is not gonna go well. Is Hatna around? Can she still help us?"
There's a pause as she is like slowly processing the words that you're saying as she's like still thinking about how she's gonna handle this. And then she goes, like she like shakes her head. Hatna, she's so tired from picking up Vigo. He's so heavy. How is he so
Okay.
heavy? But yeah, can't use her right now. She's very tired. She needs to rest.
I'm gonna pull out. Well, no, Psyduck would already be out. I'm gonna call across the river. Amber, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's taking you guys so long?
We just realized this is a really bad idea. We're both really clumsy, and this is swaying around and all sorts of stuff. I'm gonna send Psyduck over, and I'm gonna have him grab your rope if he can bring it over. And I think we probably need the rope. So I'm
Have
gonna.
you guys never been on a playground before?
Yeah, but I fell off a lot. That's why I know to be cautious.
I tripped on
Okay.
roots all the time in the forest, so I am 100% not able to make this.
I
Does
get
your Psyduck
distracted.
have opposable thumbs, or is he just gonna like clamp it in its beak or something?
Probably his beak.
Okay, well, I've got the
Actu-
rope, so I'll just be waiting over here.
Okay, keep a hold of one end in case Psyduck has to let go. or in case he gets swept away. So I'm gonna ask Psyduck to go over and fetch one end of the rope and bring it back to me.
Patience is not something that Amber has learned yet as an 8-year-old.
No.
Here, buddy.
She'll like nestle it gently in his beak and then hold on to the other end.
Which Pokemon is this?
Psyduck.
Okay. Put the thing in his beak. Gags slightly.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't like the taste of that either, buddy.
So you sent Mako. You sent Psyduck across, and he's gonna carry the rope back across the river.
Yes.
Okay, sure. Pretty easy to do. I won't make him roll a check for it. Any amount of fighting he might have to do against the current, you actually realize the net is weighted down sufficiently that the net is effectively keeping him from flowing downriver. So he just kind of holds the rope in his beak and just has one of his little bird hands just clinging to the side of the rope and just pushing himself forward while his little web feet propel him. And in a few seconds he's there. He's got the rope in his beak.
I will give him the biggest hug, soaking myself. You're the best wig.
Wipes away a little bit of drool.
Amber's gonna look over at Vigo and be like,
Why do we even need this rope if the net is stopping them from going down the river?
I don't know.
Well, you're big and strong, so maybe you hold it.
Oh, okay.
Give him the rope.
So I guess we will tie
how
the rope.
dark is it on like venturing forward, DM?
Pretty dark. No flashlight
Yes.
still.
Okay. Well,
There's
then Amber will wait.
there is at this point there's enough little bits of the reflective mineral or maybe bioluminescence that you actually see silhouetted what appears to be another sort of archway resembling the tunnel you came from on the other side. So if you absolutely needed to, you kind of know a way forward at this point, but you wouldn't have much light to go off of.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Amber will just play with Grubbin then in the meantime because she's bored.
I will tie me and Elaine together, realizing halfway through that this is only slightly better than no rope. But with the power of placebo, I will venture and just go ahead and roll my singular d6.
Do it. Do it, coward. You succeed.
Yay!
Like I said, really low DC. It's a net that's tied down and tense, and if you fail, you can just climb back up. Probably might take a tick of damage depending on how far you fall or how badly you fail, but it's probably not going to happen. All right.
Yeah, how far you far?
How far you fall. So,
Oh, for
4. You're good, man. It takes him a little bit long. He's just taking his time, sweating a little bit about midway through. At that point, Vigo's like, come on already. And then he's like, okay, fine. And you take a few more steps and you're there. And you're good. Successfully circumvented. Has the side deck been returned to you?
Question.
Yeah.
He had us tied together. I don't know how that works.
You and Mako are tied together?
Yes, he intentionally
Yeah.
tied us together.
Okay.
I
well,
glossed over the net. I
Okay, make
didn't
your
realize this was worthless.
acrobatics check again. Or sorry.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Well, my overthinking worked for once.
Okay. Elaine falls down into the water. And Elaine, you actually find out very quickly after struggling for a few seconds and panicking that you're actually only waist deep in water. And you look down and you see several of those kind of wooden slats have piled up into a sort of not quite walkway, as the current is still enough to kind of push you up against the net and make it very difficult to walk forward. But after a few seconds, you're able to kind of get your breath and your bearings. The flashlight swaying dangerously close to the water's surface.
It's
not-
waterproof. I intentionally spent the extra $300 for that.
That's good. And you climb back up and just go ahead and make me another acrobatics check here.
Okay. Please be another one.
Nice. after a few more moments, you find that the fact that your feet are now wet is causing the ropes to be extra slippery, and you just plump back into the water. As Frigiback just does a face palm and shakes and says, "Free."
Amber is pointing with Ample and just kind of giggling a little bit.
Oh.
Okay.
It's like AFE in real life.
All right, roll me one more
Want me to do another
acrobatics
one?
check. Yeah,
All right. Be a 1. Ah,
nice. 2.
close.
Make another 3 feet. You're not quite there yet.
Yeah. One
Uh,
more one.
As Mako just kind of slowly tugging you along at this point.
Maka's dragging dead weight.
Yeah, you feel a bit of like kind of the slack on the rope kind of wrap around your leg, and you're like, oh, that's weird. And you look down, and there's a Pokemon there.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you look down, and there's some kind of eel-like creature that is just kind of draped itself around your thigh, and it looks up.
You just hear a blood-curdling scream.
Wait, what is this?
I immediately start trying to reel her in faster.
What's the...
The creature is just sort of struggling as it's kind of caught between your two thighs and the net at this point, and it's just kind of flopping back and forth like a fish out of water.
Is it perhaps another Tynamo?
And there's just a lot of like splashing water at this point.
Yeah, Elaine's freaking out, screaming,
Yeah.
trying to get this thing off of her.
All right, Maka, go and roll me just an athletics check to drag her up. She's close enough.
Sweet.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maka, could you make a Pokemon education to know what that is?
I was waiting for the opportunity. I really want to know if this is another. I can only think of Tynamo as an eel Pokemon.
Well, there's other ones. There's like the one that evolves from like the Pearl thing, Clam Pearl, and
Oh yeah.
It's probably not an evolved Pokemon, whatever it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's
It
the
might
one
be
I'm
a
thinking of is,
low-level,
like Snake Water Pokemon.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a Pokemon education check. After Elaine gets out of the water and your visibility clears up a little bit, the eel-like creature is just held up against the net, slowly wiggling, trying to find a gap. It might well here in a few seconds. You determine this is a Barboach.
Oh,
This is a water ground whiskers Pokemon. It looks a bit like an eel. The original region is Hoenn. This is a distant archipelago Pokemon.
yeah.
Oh.
I think I spent an afternoon coloring a giant picture of one of those when I was like 10.
It evolves into a Whiscash.
All right, quickly, Pokeball check. A, does somebody want this? And B, do they need a Pokeball?
I want it, and I have Pokeballs.
Get it, Mako.
Technically, because I scored higher than 10 for Pokemaniac, can you tell me its level and HP and whatnot?
Yep, I'm generating that right now, my guy.
Preach.
In the meantime, you could just decide if something like this is what you would want.
Oh yeah, no, I want to chuck a ball at it.
Okay.
I'm just trying to gauge whether it's worth the fastball, or if I want to add to my kill count. Where is Pokemaniac? Are what the same thing, Jeremiah?
Using a Pokeball on it and adding to your kill count.
So far I've gotten a couple off that didn't, but
Well, it helps that we are
it is
we're-
about
they're
50-50.
outscaling us a little bit, so it's a little bit
yeah.
harder to murder them accidentally.
Sure. You determine this is a male, gentle-natured Barboach of level 9.
Okay.
Question.
Has the Oblivious ability, which is probably why it didn't even see Elaine and was just trying to get past her.
What is it about I can't say the name, Whiscash?
Mhm.
That is good for the meta.
It's not.
Okay, it's not a good Pokemon. It's just
It's got
'cause-
really good typing.
The typing is
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, I was about to say it's resistant. The ground makes it immune to electric, but it's water type, which obviously electric's one of its key weaknesses. But
Yeah.
it would make
Its
it
typing
double
is
weak to
basically
grass,
immune
Which
right?
is-
So,
Which is the same niche as Looper, actually.
oh, grass is its only weakness though, so that's pretty solid.
And if the region had Terra type, it would also be you could Terra type it to get rid of that immunity if your opponent threatens it in the meta. However, I don't think it has a very good move pool, so it's not great for that.
But any Pokemon is good Pokemon where I
Yep.
come from.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there's always TMs.
Yeah.
That too.
Can always
Okay,
find
there's
stuff.
a decent number of. Okay. Yeah, I mean it's just
Choices,
a fun
choices.
looking Pokemon, anyways.
I have a
yes,
question.
I want to chuck it.
Okay.
If he's gonna hit it with the Pokeball, is the Pokeball gonna land in the water?
If the Pokeball fails or is destroyed, then yeah, it will ultimately land in the water. But this is shallow enough to be retrievable. Pokeballs aren't
Okay.
like they're not going to short circuit in the water, but most of them just don't have the innate like come back to you feature in the water unless you have like a dive ball or something like that, a net ball, that kind of thing.
Presumably those float or something along those lines. Make it easier.
Okay. Well, while he's catching it, Amber's gonna run up to the water, because I assume it was close to the edge since that's where Elaine was when like the Pokemon was there, and she's gonna whip out her small bug net to potentially help either fish out the Pokeball or catch the Wishcash with it. So, but she'll be on standby since he's throwing a Pokeball.
I wouldn't use the nest ball on this
No,
thing.
I said a small bug net. It's like an actual
Oh,
net
gotcha.
that she's holding in her hands.
All right,
Totally.
Go ahead and roll the d20. And I've
Yeah,
got
Elaine,
the,
or
DC
rather Amber,
rolls.
do you want to go ahead and roll me? What is there a stat necessarily associated with the bug net?
Yeah, so it has to. You roll an AC6 status attack, so it's basically just a -6 d20.
Okay.
And then if you hit, then you scoop up the Pokemon. And then if he attempts to try and catch it, then it'll have a very easy bonus. It'll have a
Nice.
-20 bonus to the capture check.
We'll go ahead and roll that then if you're trying to do that for the Barboach.
Okay. Slash RD20 -6, I think.
Unfortunate.
Wow.
This thing is thrashing and it's slippery enough that you reach in and it just pops out as Mako throws the Pokeball.
Yeah.
All right, so
Go, Mako.
base capture rate is 10 for each 10
you're trying to
levels.
beat
Add
an 8.
one. Oh, okay. Well, I did. Rolled a 9.
Well, the name?
Very
Nice.
good.
What ball are you using here?
Standard pokey.
Okay, sure. Yep, you toss it. A plume of light as the Pokeball sucks up a bit of water along with the Barboach. It jiggles a little bit on the water surface as it slowly sinks, and you see it glow just as Amber reaches in with the net to scoop up the Pokeball and hand it to you.
Here you go.
You have a
Hey,
Mako.
sorry I missed it the first time.
Ah, no worries.
Nice, man. You got a Barboach. So let me go ahead.
What level does it evolve?
30.
Oh.
Winnable.
Let's see. Oh, I don't have the icon.
Okay.
Oh well, the token works. All right. So let me go ahead and toss this over to Mako's player Pokemon. There you are. And if you want to add a token for it, or not a token, an image for it, you can. I don't do it for myself because that eats into my cloud something fierce, adding 2 images for each Pokemon.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay.
I just did that with Sableye at the beginning of this one.
Nice. Very cool.
Oh wait, so us adding it on our end does not mess with your
Yeah,
stuff?
that's your cloud, not mine.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Good to
So
know.
I still need to worry about when I'm hosting stuff. Good to know.
I'll have to do that then.
Okay. Cool. You got your Barboach. And everybody is on the far side of the river now. what's next?
Go time! Go, go, go! We have meteorites to mine.
Okay.
I guess now that
Lead
Elaine is
on,
done having a heart
Sibling.
attack.
Yeah.
Yeah. No longer
Do you
hyperventilating.
do you look visibly like I don't know, petrified, mortified?
She's
stupefied?
drenched like a soaked cat. She was just sort of sitting on her knees, just watching the whole thing going on with catching the barboat, just sort of passively.
Okay, well, I guess as Amber walks back after handing the Pokeball, she'll kind of help you up.
Hey, it's okay. You're gonna be alright. You'll dry off soon. If we had any fire-type Pokemon, maybe we could dry off faster, but I don't think we do.
Maybe electric type will work just fine.
Yeah, I was about to elect Mako.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
I will actually, like, once I'm done, like, skipping through all the menus at the end of catching a Pokemon, walk over to Elaine and kind of just stand there awkwardly for a moment before finally just kind of giving her the shared sorrow look and, like, half-heartedly going for a high five and be like, well, you won. But just like yeah, we both got used to this in school and everywhere else.
I'm gonna untie your rope now. While y'all are
Oh
hugging.
yeah, thank you.
Okay.
They're hugging?
It
I
would've-
thought he was
no,
high five.
Sorry,
It would have
high-five,
been
just
so
whatever.
much less awkward if we were hugging, but
Oh right.
that comes
All right.
that comes in like 10 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Mako gives you the share look and attempts to walk off and just drags you, and then Amber comes and tries to alleviate the social pain. All right,
Only
so
good with technology, nothing else.
so proceeding forward, all of you feeling better about having crossed the river, gotten your fossil and a new Pokemon. Things are looking up. Speaking of looking up, the cavern seems to extend further upwards more and more.
Yes.
Until you come to another what appears to be quite open area, not quite as vast as what you can only assume was that area of Victory Road to your right before. This one is fascinating, and one of the only areas in this cave system which doesn't really require your flashlight to function well. You see embedded in the ceiling, seemingly at the epicenter of this cavern, is a very large luminous crystal installed in the ceiling. And it appears to flicker with some kind of effervescent light, almost prismatic, that seems to catch your eyes and dance along the walls. You don't know what that is. Let me actually change music.
Throw a rock at it.
here.
You're telling me it's not a meteorite?
No.
Wait, it's like Deancey. What is it? Isn't there like a legendary that's like a giant crystal or something?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that was yeah.
What's it called?
Maybe it's not a legendary. I don't know. I haven't played
it's
this
a
game.
mythical.
Mythical. Okay.
Yes, I'm going to give you a Diancie first gem.
Mhm, mhm.
I mean, we put in a lot of effort. I think.
Sets a tone for the rest of the campaign. He's promising the moon.
Every gym we get a new legendary Pokemon, guys. I call Rayquaza.
Not even a legendary, a mythical Pokemon. We don't
Yeah.
even know if these things exist.
Oh, wrong.
Like,
We have Schrodinger's Pokemon in our party. How
No, wrong
many
use.
how many game generations until we go to the moon in a Pokemon game?
This is good.
we've been to other dimensions, which I think slightly outclasses the moon.
Yeah,
But
that's fair.
space.
It's such a drastic change in tone.
Go to the
I don't
moon.
think we'll ever go to space.
Catch
you know?
only Deoxys.
Correct.
Yeah, that's another thing. Is that like theoretically there are Pokemon out there, but like we'd have
whole
to
new
fight
dex.
Deoxys and Rayquaza to get out there.
Wait. Hold
Stop.
everything. Hold everything.
Holding.
Didn't Deoxys come from a meteorite?
Yes.
Oh,
There is
Well,
still hope.
Sort of. It depends on what canon you're going with.
All right.
Caleb.
There's several Pokemon that have come from space.
Guys, we win this, alright? Everyone get out all your Pokemon at once, and we'll 12v1 the Deoxys, okay?
Good idea. All right. So
We'll all just poke it to death.
setting the tone again.
Sorry.
You're in this brilliantly lit cavern. It appears to terminate here. There's enough illumination that you cannot see any obvious tunnels pluming off on any other side as you enter. The whole area appears to have a slight crater-esque sort of slant to it. Of course, being at its deepest in the very middle, directly underneath the massive crystal. Looking about, you see all kinds of interesting rock formations that don't seem entirely natural, at least compared to what you're normally used to, perhaps. I want somebody, anybody will do, since there's no flashlight, roll me a perception check.
Ooh, can I?
If you must.
Oh, wait a second. Never mind. I read a 4 under perception earlier, but I only have a +2.
Oh, interesting.
Who has a good
Well-
perception again?
I thought you were the best perception of the party, were you not?
Yeah, I thought like I said, wait a Oh, I'm on a Pokemon's, whatever it's called, character sheet.
Yeah.
Because I was like, why is there a bonus?
Yeah.
Yes, okay, I am rank 4.
Nice.
Thank you.
That's good. Totally mid. You're glancing around and see a number of strangely round rocks. They seem to move and vibrate as with each step you take. Just kind of float away as if there was zero gravity at all.
Oh.
The middle of the chamber appears relatively sparse, save for what appears to be a large chunk of that crystal in the ceiling that has fallen down into the middle of the room, onto the ground, forming what appears to be almost like a crystal or geode that has grown of its own accord after kind of falling off of the big mass. Floating about it are 2 creatures, you think, after a moment of inspection, that are rotating around it, one clockwise and one counterclockwise.
Rotating around the geode.
Yeah, the crystal in the middle. As you kind of look down at this awe-inspiring sight, you briefly inspect the image Henry gave you of examples of Archean meteoric ore, and one of them is this sort of pale white, kind of crystal-looking object. Which, this definitely fits as you kind of compare the image directly in front of your eyes and then the image Henry gave you. This appears to be what you're here to get.
Hmm.
You
Hey,
said we had
what are those, Mako?
I don't know. Did you say there was a handout with pictures of this ore or something?
You as a character have an image to reference.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And I can't identify the whatever's circling the crystal?
A couple of creatures, you could absolutely potentially identify them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. Just roll Poke Education, I guess.
The Meteors.
Nice. 12.
It's flat DC of 10 for Pokemaniac.
Totally. So roll me one more. Because there's 2 different creatures.
Sweet.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, 12 is a low roll for Pokehead, luckily.
Floating Dwebble. I'm calling it right here.
Do it.
It's a
has
flying rock
levitate.
type, of course.
You said,
All right.
What did you say?
The two objects you get a little closer to identify. They have kind of these reddish, weird-looking alien eyes. They're shaped geometrically and strangely, as though they were formed out of some abstract concept, as opposed to naturally, perhaps over hundreds of years. You identify these two creatures as Soul Rock and Lunatone.
Oh.
Yo, wait, that's crazy.
Slowly circling the crystal in opposite directions.
These guys could be menaces, I'm not gonna lie.
So are they protecting it? Does it look like they're circling it to protect it?
Unclear. That would be a separate check. Perhaps intuition from the Elaine and her intuitive nature.
Yes.
I'm gonna check this environment to see if it would be ideal for fossils.
19.
You legend.
Actually, would a cult be good here?
Occult would also be decent here. Intuition is what you rolled, though. You can roll occult
Yeah.
later if you'd like. Intuition. The Soul Rock and Lunatone, part of their thing is they like orbiting things. They're never actually still. They're a little bit like Spoink. If they ever stop bouncing or if they ever stop orbiting something, there's something fundamentally off about something in the universe. Is what you've kind of read and heard in ancient legends. They're drawn to places of kind of cosmic influence. You think you don't necessarily think they're protecting it so much as they are
More a symptom of it.
more of a symptom of it existing there. Yes, and if you were to remove it in its entirety, that is to say, throw the balance of nature off, Soul Rock and Lunatone might get after you.
What level are they?
Let me tell you. It's going to be a level 28 Soul Rock and a level 27 Lunatone.
Good grief.
Oh, bro.
We got us a boss, brothers.
No, we gotta be sneaky.
Well, yeah, we either gotta be somehow we have to sneakily mine, or
Right.
like we need to get them on our side.
Sneak attack. This ain't no league battle. We can just grab every Pokemon that we can command and overwhelm
Well,
it through numbers.
Well, we
it's
certainly
just
cannot
league,
command
but-
these, so
No. Our Pokemon. Do like you said.
Oh,
do
okay.
like 12v2 or something.
okay. Well,
At
we
this point,
can't
it's
quite
supposed
do
to be
that
16 probably, but
because we can only command like 2 at a time, and that's
Okay.
sacrificing actions for that too. So
I
max we
wondered
can do
if
would
it
be.
was tied to your command rank or something.
Although technically, if you're counting yourself and your 2 Pokemon, that would be a 12v2, but you would be sacrificing your own action to command the second Pokemon, so it'd really be an 8v2.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, I think we probably need to talk our way out of this one. Like, make sure they're cool with us.
I mean, I can attempt to do that with Poke Psychology.
Okay.
It's also likely with occultism, maybe Elaine could redirect their orbiting to something else.
Yeah.
Okay, so legitimately.
So is it safe to say we
gonna
should
check the environment
approach
for
right now? Oh, yeah.
Also, like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Okay, so what's it going to be, guys?
Do I have any reason to believe that they would just start attacking on sight if we don't get too close to what they're orbiting initially?
There'll be more in the domain of Elaine's intuition check.
Okay.
And no, you don't.
I wanna start
Elaine doesn't
going
think
with
that they're
them.
like eminently dangerous or hostile. You don't.
Okay.
You don't even think they would necessarily be hostile to you if you got close.
So
Just like if you started really messing with the stuff in the area and kind of throwing the balance off, if you will.
okay, I think I see. So I'm gonna kind of pull us all into a huddle. I'm gonna assume Vigo's snooping around. That's fine. We can just kind of point him in a direction anyway. So I'm gonna say. So it sounds like we can just walk up and see if we can interact with them, see what they do. But I'm also just gonna throw this out there. Bug and water type moves will do a lot of damage, and fairy is standard against them, so like we'd have a shot if we really wanted to test ourselves. This would be the first real test we'd have, but I think we can do it. What do you guys think?
I think we're gonna die. I mean, most of my bug Pokemon only have like String Shot as their bug move, so they're not gonna be doing much damage. Let's just put that out there. I mean, I could use Spectacle, but I mean he's a little unpredictable at best. So, and how tough are they anyways? Like, what level are they?
What'd you say, 27 and 28, Austin?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I'll relate to them. I'll nerd out for a moment.
I mean, that's really high. None of us have Pokemon that high.
I can't wait for. I know we're gonna be fighting Henry soon, but it'd be nice to see if we could get a little extra experience before then. But I do think you're right. We probably should try and see if I might be able to. Between me and Elaine, we might be able to talk to him or send him off in some other direction.
Well, maybe we just approach and see if they're friendly. And as long as we don't bother them, maybe they'll just let us mine a little bit. Because we don't need much. We just gotta bring some of it back.
So I'm gonna... Psyduck is still out at this point. I'll just kind of be holding on to him. Probably hugging him to me. And I'll just kind of start approaching the two Pokemon then.
Okay.
You said we're in like a big opening, right? With some sunlight coming through.
The crystal is generating light. You're not sure if that's sunlight that's filtering through, or what.
Gotcha. But we're in like an opening.
Yeah, large
even ground and whatnot.
Not even ground. It's all built at a slant, with the geode being at the very bottom of this basically crater that is comprising this entire cavern that you're in right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. As you walk down, this kind of very, very rough path that you think was probably paved for you before this, you walk down. And as you do so, the rocks at your feet, all strangely round and spherical, just move aside as though propelled by gravity that you can't see or feel.
Wait, say that part again? They're moving as if...
Propelled by a force that you cannot observe or feel, yeah.
So they're like in the air, or...
Yeah. There's like little spherical rocks just slowly floating, kind of close to the ground, sometimes floating upwards slightly.
Oh, I
see.
Okay,
feels very like 0G. A lot of them.
They're little pebbles, not like Geodudes, right?
They're about the size of your head.
Oh wow. Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna just recruit Elaine to stick by me, looking very... We can all try and look very non-threatening, and I'll be using Poke Psychology and Poke Ed to just try and befriend these two if we can, to start out at least. We'll go from there.
If anything, I think Elaine would try to use some kind of occultism to... I was thinking like to impress upon her spirit to them.
Yeah, I mean, they are psychic types, so sending a clear psychic message makes sense.
I don't know if that's something that you would allow, Don or Austin.
Occult? You also call me Donnie? Yeah. Yeah, you can roll occult to, or you're trying to kind of vibe with them on vibe with them on like a magical level almost.
Almost like it's gonna be like an ethereal, like reaching to them, because the thought that I have on my mind is, and it doesn't have to play out this way, but she's able to connect with them somehow in like communicating that, you know, they'll need this rock to propel their future, and asking for permission to be able to harvest some of this crystal, without, disturbing them any. And it's like, I don't know, I could just see them like orbiting around her and like all the rocks, like, and she's just sort of communicating on a spiritual level to them.
Sure, we'll go on your occult check then.
I'm gonna do that.
As you approach with the rest of the band.
25.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Wow, dude.
What's the highest check we've seen? Might have been a command check from Amber before this. Was 24, 25?
Honestly, yeah, it couldn't have been 25. I only have, well, actually, maybe, no, I can, because I have 5. So this is probably either the highest or very close to it.
Very nice. Totally.
This is good.
Elaine, you approach, and after kind of a moment of getting the vibe, you have everybody behind you just kind of stop. Mako was getting ready to sort of analyze them and start trying to dig into their behaviors, and you just need to breathe in the moment. As you take a step forward, and then another step, and soon you find yourself stepping once sideways, and then once right, once forward, once right, and then a small twirl. As you all see Elaine start to kind of mimic, very, very sort of intuitively grasping onto the sort of psionic link with cosmic energies in the area the two Pokemon have. As Elaine sort of joins the orbit.
She's dancing with them.
Yeah, it is a bit like a dance. And when Elaine, just slowly twirls, the Lunatone does as well, and the Soul Rock turns kind of on its side. Soul. And after a few seconds, you get the vibe that the equilibrium in this area is a fragile thing. Whatever is taken must be returned in kind. If you take from this geode, you must put something back of equal cosmic value. Whatever that means.
Fascinating.
Moonball.
Suddenly, it begins to become clear to you, Elaine, in the back of your brain, why this is part of the gym challenge. This is a mine. And if you were to look at mines from a purely materialistic standpoint, there would be nothing but take and take and take. But this is not a world that would let such behavior go unpunished. Cosmic forces are in place to ensure that the greedy humans must always give back in order to receive. This is the final lesson of the gym challenge. What will you give back to the world to progress?
Islands.
As you slowly come to a stop, and as though you were a rogue asteroid, veer off of the orbit and rejoin your friends. Solrock and Lunatone rejoining or continuing, I should say, their steady orbits, occasionally rotating.
Yeah, she just comes out of like this daze where she's almost in, like, her hands are sort of displayed, like her fingers are splayed out. She's beside, like, they're sticking out from her body, and she's just trying to find her balance again after twirling. She goes, whoa. Okay. So they have a message for us. In order for us to take from this crystal, they need to know what we're going to return back.
DM, do we know roughly the value of the meteor? Were we told roughly what it's worth?
I had to guess this.
Expensive, but to go kind of with the 25 that Elan rolled earlier, it's less about material value and more about
Right.
the spiritual value of the thing you want. You must give up something of roughly equivalent spiritual value. Otherwise, something you value.
I was about to, yeah. So it can be
put my
something
Ratchet
important
skeleton
to us.
there.
The Reditask.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is I'm gonna say, well, I have these silver nuggets, but I know it's probably not about pure value, but I have these 4 rock gems, and that fits the theme of the cave, and plus I found him in this cave. Got some other
So
stuff.
You're gonna give him something that you already found in the cave in order to take something from the cave.
Thinking symbolically, but yes, I'm also thinking in terms of grifting the system. If push comes to shove, I've got this unknown TM I was gonna tinker with, see what was on it. I'd hate to lose it, but we have an ace up our sleeve.
Elaine's considering giving it the Magby egg.
Wow. That's correct.
For my child.
I mean, the thought did occur to me to just leave the polywag.
That's
Take this orphan.
Well, the reason why Elaine was thinking is because the Magmar that was protecting it was being enraged by the fire, or the smoke that was in the air. So it's not really that it had an option, although it probably would have already been territorial because there was a baby nearby. She picked up the egg purely because she loves baby Pokemon, and she was thinking to herself, it might be better if it's with me instead of in this hostile environment. But who knows? Maybe this little Magby egg could grow up in this environment and become a psychic fire. That would be kind of cool. But
that would be dope. Mako would love to take the Magby, like, as a party, not just him, and under the assumption that eventually we'll dip our toes into breeding. He's like, oh, this is a perfect babysitter, but
okay.
Incubator specifically, I guess. But there will be other opportunity. I mean, it was like what, session 5 or something. So I would prefer to hold on to my DM, so that is a good option.
Hey, Austin.
Yeah.
So, are you talking like value as in monetary value?
No. No.
Okay. So we're over here. We're down the wrong path. So
Right. You cannot bribe the cosmic balance.
the cosmic balance is wanting to know what we're gonna do with our future selves.
Wait, what?
To go on this path, if we take this rock, it's wanting to know if its investment in us is going to be worthy.
Or if we're just greedy people.
What are we going to give back to the world?
Vigo is going to pull out one of his most prized possessions, a handful of Ratata bones.
Oh, goodness.
I will give back death and decay to the world.
The cycle of life is merely a part of it.
Oh my word! I love it.
Hey, I'm gonna give you
This is his trophy. Consider for a moment. He thought this to be valuable enough to him to qualify as an offering at that shrine. Qualify as a valid offering. So to him, yes, this is a very valuable artifact. To the rocks, I don't know.
I want to interpose for just a second here to give you all one more line of thinking that you might be able to pursue. What is Mako's speed, and what is the speed of this rock and the Lunatone?
Mako's speed is 15.
What is Vigo's speed?
18. Although
I mean, that's
movement
the thing.
capacity is 7, which is likely what we'd be looking at here, and I can run very fast.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm gonna metagame for a moment, because this is one of the few times I'm usually not a fan. Not a fan. Combat is not usually what I look for in an RPG, but what I have observed in my fairly limited experience is that this amount of higher level is within acceptable. It wouldn't necessarily be acceptable if we were playing a Pokemon game on a DS, but as a TTRPG, these numbers do not feel impossible. And so there's a part of me that really wants to treat this like a boss fight.
But also consider that Solrock and Lunatone are very defensive. That needs to factor into the equation. We might not be able to scratch these things.
Yeah.
In addition to that, we have very poor type matchups, generally speaking.
Yeah. No, it makes sense to Mako to reason more so than fight, but I can't keep the voices at bay.
Isaac is itching for a fight.
Yeah. For once.
If it were a reasonable course of action to try and fight these, I probably would. However,
We'll get a chance. And soon.
this
You have a gym battle coming
not
up.
great. Yeah,
Now,
it's not a
do
good position to
we-
fight them. So.
All right, so
Does
let's
the-
put that aside.
Yeah, does Elaine get the impression that we each have to give something up, or do we really just only need one chunk of meteorite?
You only need a sample of meteorite. Yeah, a chunk, if you will. And presumably something of sufficient spiritual or emotional value to at least one person. You know, ideally more than one person, but it wouldn't necessarily have to be. Would be a suitable replacement. Essentially,
Saying that.
Yeah.
But I just asked you if it was a physical item or anything of monetary value, and you said no.
You
So
said monetary value
right.
in the question,
Mhm.
which the other part.
think
was-
think
was
think
not
more
specific.
think more in terms of objects representative of something, as opposed to an object that is just valuable.
Okay.
While everyone
yeah.
else is doing their thing, Amber is gonna slowly walk up and she's gonna place a candy bar
I knew
next
you
to
were.
the meteorite.
Okay, well, what?
You know,
Yeah, what's your thought process when you're doing that?
there are a lot of people who don't have a lot to eat, and you know what? Sometimes other people gotta eat too, and not just me. So, you guys can have this.
And she'll unwrap it for them, seeing as they don't have hands. And she'll set it next to the meteorite if they want to eat it.
Okay.
And then she'll walk away because she can't mine the meteorite herself.
Well, hold up a second. Okay. Roll
I
me
do like this.
an intuition check.
15?
Okay. You place the candy bar down. And I'm gonna interpret your intuition as sincerity here. Like you actually kind of feel this way, and it's hard for you because you like your food, you like your candy bars. You've been kind of hungry your entire life. You kind of briefly flash back either through kind of like a psychic image, or maybe it's just you being introspective to hard days at the orphanage. And you remember times when you went to bed hungry and you would have to do extra chores the next day just to, get a midday meal. Times are rough in Persephone. And the beginnings of a dream or an ideal begin to form in this prepubescent little girl's mind. That maybe, just maybe, you can keep other people from being hungry too. As you give up something, and in return, the two floating rock Pokemons stop and float briefly, as though in limbo, as though sent into zero G, waiting for something to be removed to stabilize their orbit.
Now's
I'm
the time to
gonna-
go get the crystal.
I'm gonna
Is
kind
there
of
any, like, loose rock, I guess?
Big X dot.
Just wiggle something free like a tooth.
I'm gonna start to edge closer,
Like
try
a
and
tooth.
get within. I want to try and get as close to Amber as I can, and fish my pickaxe out and be like, I don't know if they'll be cool with this, but here, you can use this if you want. And then I'm gonna just kind of hover, waiting to make an offering next.
Okay, well,
Sure.
If Amber's gotta do it, she'll try and do it, I guess, and she'll try and mine it. Just get a
Yeah.
chunk out of it.
Yeah. You walk up, and the crystal appears to be relatively brittle in places. You get the impression that the value of the thing is not with the physical durability or the toughness of it, but more of its almost kind of astral nature. Yeah, I would say almost effortlessly, you reach down to a bit that's jutting out and just crack off a piece. fist-sized piece of crystal and just hold it kind of eyes aglow slightly reverently and back up. And as you do, the two Pokemon regain their orbit and continue in the same fashion as they were before.
Whoa. Thank you, guys. Hey, guys, I got the crystal!
Just flips away from you. Not a care in its world.
So, do we have to go back the way we came?
Well, I'm gonna retrieve my pickaxe, and then I'm gonna try and approach as well.
What is Mako gonna give up?
I'm gonna fish around in my backpack, pull out my X accuracy, and say, I'm always paranoid that my Pokemon are gonna miss, but you can have this. It's probably more valuable to you. And then I'm gonna pull out my last Pokeball, add that to the pile, and say, my last Pokeball. I guess I probably won't be able to catch anything for the rest of this expedition. Kind of sigh. And I'll pull out a rock gem. No, let's do 2 of them. Be like, I found these here in your cave. They're beautiful. You can have them if you want. It's kind of like this place. It's beautiful. And then I'll just kind of stand there waiting.
Sure. I guess roll me an intuition check. It's really not so much about what you're giving.
Yeah, fair.
It's about what you're going through mentally and how you are self-analyzing here.
Ooh, I'm only ranked 2.
Okay. And Mako, I'm gonna say you come out a little bit more on the surface level than what Amber did. You don't quite understand the higher concepts at play. You get the impression that you're supposed to be doing something, that is not necessarily in your best interest in order to proceed. And so you're like, okay, well, I'll just keep adding stuff that I don't want to get rid of, and they'll like me for it. And as you put down the last item and walk away, the objects that you put down tremor slightly with a telekinetic surge, and they kind of pop outwards as they're rejected in a gravity slingshot, and they all land at your feet in a small pile.
Wow.
You've been turned down.
Oh.
Okay. I'll walk away dejectedly.
Sorry.
Good.
Hey, you got your bit.
Hey, Eileen wants to try though. Is there what value does this crystal do? Can I turn it into something later?
This is a meteoric ore that you are retrieving specifically for this gym challenge.
So, I was wondering if it turns into like, what's it called? Like those watches that evolve the Pokemon.
She wants to artifice it.
Hey, Christine, I think by asking that question, you've already failed the challenge here.
That's literally what I was thinking.
Well, I was wondering what the intrinsic value of the crystal is, because it's here.
Yeah, like you're asking that question, and you're failing the challenge.
The intrinsic value of the crystal is that you get to continue your Pokemon journey.
Okay, cool.
The material value of the thing is quite large. As you know, Henry was saying, this kind of thing is used to create many held items as well as tactical machines.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, Elaine wants to give it a go.
Oh dear.
Alright, so. Seeing Amber get a success and then Mako get rejection, there's something in Elaine that wants to give it a try, because while the player may be all about intrinsic value, Elaine is actually a far more honest person. Sorry, I'm giving Nick the stink eye because he just likes to throw me under the bus. So she'll give it a chance, and in her backpack she'll reach for an enriched water. And when she sets it down, she sort of does like this little bow and this little prayer. And in her heart and in her mind, she knows that the world is scarred and it's hurting, and it's like it's parched. And in some way, she wants to be able to heal this world in whatever way she can. And it's like, in the back of her mind, she was thinking, like, when she came into contact with Zoe, when she was just an egg, she was wanting to create a sanctuary for Pokemon, especially breeding Pokemon, so that they can have a safe zone. And just overall be like this mother, that watches over this field, making sure that all of the baby Pokemon are safe. I think, Austin, I had told you Elaine's backstory and why that would be really impactful for her. I don't know if you remember her backstory or not.
I think I do. Sure. Well, I would say roll me an intuition check here, and that will kind of determine the depths of the self-introspection you're able to summon here.
Ooh, that's bad for Elaine.
It's not great. And though you do kind of get the impression that you're being acknowledged. Slightly meta here. The score of your intuition check must be progressively higher to continue taking more and more. Because the balance continues to shift in a strange way. So you kind of have to satisfy yourself knowing that you've got what you came here for. You are now able to continue along your path. You don't need this thing, and the psychics up there know it. So.
I mean, if they believe in her, she'll be like, yeah, okay. And then she'll pick up her enriched water and say, it was fun dancing with you earlier.
Oh. Yep. Yeah, the two continue their ever present spiral. The Lunatone appears almost sleepy at this point.
So, yeah, Elaine will fall back to the rest of the party. Maybe grab a Vigo while he's trying to look for more fossils.
Okay. Is anybody?
Do I
Is
have
it?
to give something to the rocks too?
No, it's okay, Vigo.
Oh, okay.
They already said they had enough.
That's good, because I really didn't want to give him my skeleton.
Yeah, that's okay. You keep it.
Yeah, Vigo seems very happy about this revelation that he does not have to give up his rat to the skeleton.
All right. Well, you've acquired your Archean meteoric ore. It is a very valuable bit of material you will be able to turn in for completion of the Low Cloud Mine Gym Challenge. Do you guys head back?
Well, we found our fossil, and we found our meteor, or I guess. Does this mean we're gonna have to roll more rolls to go through the?
Nope. If you say you're done, you're done. We're just gonna fast forward.
Yeah, let's say we're done.
Yes,
We're done.
alright.
So
We're done.
I went into this with the assumption that because we are passing back through and going through these areas, I will have a chance on the way back to pop my item finding thing.
Sure, you can.
Okay, yeah. So I would like to pop that on the riverbed, since that seems like the most likely area to find something I want.
Sure. Go ahead and roll me that d20.
Come on. You win this.
14.
Okay, let me look at the chart for the area. One sec. Control F is wigging out on me.
Yikes.
How you feeling, Austin? You sound like you're doing a bit better.
Yeah, well, it's the social energy, you know. I feel technically, I think about the same. Maybe a little worse actually. I might take a shower after this.
Showers are good before bed.
They are. Especially cold showers. Help cool you off.
Wait, not before bed. That's no. You have to warm up so that you're like, so
No, you
you're
gotta cool your
like
body
your
down.
Okay, you do,
Oh!
but you have to warm up to cool down
So you
because
cool down faster?
if you cool down, then your core temperature, like, it's gonna suck all of its heat in because it's like, hey, we're cold. We have to like keep as much heat as possible. If you warm up, specifically like your extremities, like your hands and your feet, then that essentially allows the blood to like oscillate, kind of get towards the surface more, and allow your like core body temperature to drop as like the heat goes to your extremities, because it's a warm up to cool down. So hot showers are good before bed. Cold showers are good in the morning to kind of stimulate that like cortisol and get you kind of like awake and like give you that boost in the morning. But hot showers are good before bed. I just listened to a podcast about it yesterday. I was meaning to talk to you about it, Isaac, because I know that you have sleep problems.
The internet told me just yesterday.
Okay, it was a Harvard neuroscientist and his companion, who is the like president and like CEO of a sleep research institute.
Okay. So go ahead and roll me one more d20 if you please, here.
The internet, while claiming to be intelligent, told me just yesterday.
That's a 5.
5.
Cool. Sure.
It is
as you pass back by the riverbed, you are you're kind of trolling the bottom a little bit, and you note that the net is still in place, of course, and that seems to be collecting a few interesting loose bits and pieces that you kind of inspect and sift through. The object you find is almost looks it's opaque. It's slightly kind of cracked and ridged. It almost appears to be vaguely volcanic, and your hair stands on end when you hold it. After a few moments of inspection and kind of Mako helping you out, because he's pretty good at the tech stuff, you determine you found a moonstone.
Oh, I'm getting all the cool rocks.
Got a cool rock.
I got an Everstone. I got a Moonstone. I have another cool rock. I have a silver nugget. I don't think that's a stone, really, but...
Wait, that would evolve Nidorino. That's sick.
Yeah. You have the Nidoking tech now, it looks like. Cool. All right, is that it for you guys?
Yeah.
Cool.
We did it.
Elaine falls into the river one more time.
That's right.
That's how we find the Moonstone.
Yes. It's sticking to her as she gets pulled out.
Yeah, on the net on the way over, you guys just jam Elaine between Mako and Vigo and just sort of squeeze her across, and then you finally get back to the crossroads. Thankfully, the signage is correct now, so you followed your way back, kind of glancing back down the corridors you guys chose not to deign, before soon reaching the entrance once more, passing by the Sableye horde as well on the way. As you come to the large hydraulic door, there's some signage there that you didn't make out before. It has a little walkie-talkie symbol, like with little action lines coming off of it, and again, kind of a caricatured Henry face with a thumbs up saying, "Call me, baby."
Why does he want to be referred to as an infant?
No. So I thought using the walkie-talkies would make us forfeit.
No, only if you use the walkie-talkie to forfeit.
So we can use the walkie-talkies to let ourselves out?
Presumably.
I do remember.
That seems to be what the signage says.
That's not what you were told. You need to break out, obviously.
No, Henry's doing the
Staying
Catch
out of the way.
22. You're gonna lose now.
Oh.
He's actually farming the league trainers for meteoric ore.
Okay, well, if we lose, then we're keeping the ore, and then we're just gonna beat him in the gym battle so that we still get the badge, but get to keep the ore. How about that, Henry?
Okay. Yeah, I guess Elaine would put out her walkie-talkie and push the button. Henry, we're done. We're at the door.
Henry.
Sure. You hear kind of a crackle that says, "I'll be right with you." And a couple seconds later, you hear on the same frequency a different voice. One sec, kids. On my way. Different voice this time. You see the door open soon after. A miner that you guys might recognize just from the previous excursions you guys have had throughout maybe Amber's directions. This is the foreman.
Oh, hey.
Name's Reg. I'm one of the few gym trainers that didn't need too much patching up. Shakes your hands.
Hi, Reg.
Got the ore, huh?
Elaine
That's right.
poses at Amber, like, on full display.
I'll show him the ore.
Well done.
She holds it up
All
like
right.
Zelda or Link.
Well, you're gonna get to see a little bit of a show before you get your badge. If you follow me. You follow Reg back to the minecart. Reg pulls a lever. Apparently, this thing can be powered by itself, but Henry just likes having the Rhyhorn push it. Getting pushed back to one of the opening tunnels. You follow a second hallway off to a open area of the mine. The ceiling it kind of falls away to the blasting sun in this almost caldera-like arena. As you pass by, you see several signs indicating this as a gym battle arena. Walking into the middle, you see chalk outlines apparently outlining an arena. As you see two different tunnels venturing off at kind of a 45-degree angles from each other on the far side of the arena. And you hear concussive blast and smoke coming out from each of the two tunnels. Looks like they're already underway, so less of a sight than I would have liked to show you. Anyways, they'll be done soon. As you see, glancing upward, kind of towards the top of close to where the ceiling opens up, you see a large television screen that is actively outlining active trainers, Henry himself, as well as apparently what appears to be a second gym trainer. Some of their Pokemon's HP, and at the top, what appears to be two different lines that are kind of mimicking what your understanding of the geometry of the two tunnels that are venturing off of like the main room in the arena. And it appears that Henry is just a hair bit further along in his tunnel than the three individuals you met earlier at Miss Ruby's. You kind of watch with idle curiosity for about a minute longer, and then you hear a big buzzer, and then Henry's face with a thumbs up and the smile pops up on the screen. It says, "Henry wins."
Can I ask a question, DM?
Yes.
You said it had Henry's Pokemon on the screen as like their HP.
It had their It appears to the names and species of Pokemon are not visible, but it has a couple of health bars besides each of their names.
Oh, okay. I was about to ask.
You're right. Yeah. Henry's Pokemon look topped off, by the way. His gym trainer, on the other hand, looks a bit bruised. And you see a couple of spare Pokeballs there that seem to indicate they have some in reserve. in general, it seems like this particular challenge was either not very combative, or they quickly changed tactics after realizing they couldn't damage Henry's Pokemon very well. And I am tired and sick and blanking on the 3 trainers' names you met the other day. It was Allie. The nerd's name was.
It wasn't Clark, was it?
No.
Did it start with a J? I can't remember. Let me see if I have it in my notes.
Yeah, and I'll.
Actually, I think I do have it in my notes. I'll look.
That'd be helpful, thank you. I remember their personalities and everything. I'm just blanking on their names.
I want to say like Howard or something, but no.
Howard
I remember.
conveys the
Yeah,
right
that
feeling,
sounds-
doesn't
Oh
it?
yeah. And there was some like Southern girl.
Yeah.
Red
Yeah.
hair.
Yeah, she was from
Yeah,
Breeze.
Okay, well, we know who you're
Abby
talking about.
or
I'm actually
Hannah
not
or
seeing them in my
something.
notes for some reason.
Sure. Well, we're about to end anyways. So yeah, you wait around for a bit, as the two parties, kind of covered in the light red dust of Low Cloud Mine, appear on either side. Henry with a modest grin on his face, and the other 3 just looking utterly put out. Allie, in particular, the blonde with the baseball cap, is just kind of has her hands over her eyes, head tilted back, like she is just like the end of frustrated. As the nerd goes, "Sorry, guys, bad matchup." "It's all right. We got a couple stars left. Try again tomorrow." The redhead, kind of keeping their spirits up, puts an arm around both of them. You see them kind of talk to each other. Henry puts a reassuring hand on Allie's shoulder, kind of shakes his head a little bit, apparently offering some comforting words as Reg holds the rest of you guys back. "Hope you're not feeling too nervous. Still thinking about that gym battle?"
Is it just a race? Is it not Pokemon combat?
"It's both. Or neither, depending on what you want to do. If you can navigate faster than Henry, which is a toss-up to be sure."
How does it work? Does the whole team have to get there? Do we have to just get one Pokemon to the other side? Like, what are the rules of the race?
That's right. Just the one needs to make it to the end.
Just one Pokemon? That's it?
That's right.
Wow.
He looks over at you with kind of a knowing smile, like it's a little more complex than that, but you'll see. A few more moments pass as briefly their team and their faces are shown up on the big screen, and you see them jump down from 3 stars to 2 stars.
Yikes.
They start walking by you. The redhead kind of makes an effort to give a bit of a wave, but the other 2 just seem absolutely done. They don't really seem to be in a talkative mood.
I think Elaine would just let them go, sort of give like a sympathetic smile and understand that right now is not the time for social engagement.
Okay. Kind of after waiting a respectful amount of time for them to kind of leave earshot and start walking back down the tunnel, Reg, the foreman, kind of ushers you forward up to Henry, who has taken a seat kind of in the middle of the arena. You're now kind of realizing with a certain amount of deja vu that this kind of caldera the arena is built into is extremely reminiscent of the area you got the meteor ore from earlier. Henry waves.
Like weirdly gravitational.
In everything but the supernatural. Geometrically almost identical. like in terms of proportion and scale and everything. Except, of course, the ceiling is open, exposed to the now beating down sun, probably 1 or 2 o'clock at this point. All right, champs in the making. Henry kind of sighs a little bit and adjusts himself. I'm gonna need a bit of a rest, and then we can discuss the gym battle, if you're still interested. Now, about that gym challenge. He kind of looks at you guys
Amber
expectantly.
grins and then holds out the meteorite.
Yeah, we got it.
Elaine poses again.
I figured you guys would. He leans forward, grabs the ore kind of gingerly, hefts a little bit. Sizable chunk, too. He gingerly places it down on the boulder beside him. You kind of realize in the mirror image you have of this room, that is where the geode would be. He reaches down into his jacket and pulls out the case. Then, as my right as Low Cloud Mine Gym Leader, member of the Animos Pokemon League, I bestow upon you this. He picks up the small pin, kind of holds it up such that it reflects off of the sunlight. The Meteor badge. He holds it out for one of you to take.
I'll look at
at this-
Amber. It's only fair for her.
Yeah, Amber should get it.
All right. Well, she'll like kind of like stand not at attention, because she's not gonna like salute or anything, but she'll kind of like straighten up a little bit, and just kind of just smile very big. And I guess she'll take it.
It's not a Weedle. It won't bite you. Drops it into your hand. It's a little bit heavier than you expected, but it's almost comforting weight. It glows with a slight warmth from the midday sun. All right, you have a meteor badge.
So-
Congratulations.
Yay!
So what does it do?
What does it do?
I'm
Huh?
really curious. I knew he said there was a thing that it did, and we didn't get to know until we got it. So I really want to know.
Henry says, huh? It's just a badge.
Oh, my bad. I thought there was some kind of like secret power that it unlocked. I don't
I'm
know
just
why I
I'm just
thought
pulling your leg, kid. Now this stuff is he taps the badge in your hand is made of this stuff. He taps the ore at his side. So, in a way, this whole strategy is kind of self-sustaining, don't you think?
Oh wow. Yeah.
Just hear a chorus of ohs from the kids.
Yeah.
Anyways, the Meteor badge, well, all the badges have certain properties associated with them. I don't know all of it. State secrets and all that. Anyways, the Meteor badge makes you a little bit better at commanding Pokemon. All about discipline, working in the mines and all that. I didn't make that decision, but I guess it's fitting.
That's perfect for Amber.
Oh yeah, baby.
Wait, that's awesome.
Unlike most of the badges in the other regions, the Animos League badges are held items, so you give this to one of your Pokemons, they'll obey your orders, well, to the best of their ability. The really unruly ones will still have a bit of a rough time with it, but it'll definitely improve your odds.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem. He kind of glances back over your shoulders. I want to comfort your friends in the downtime. I need to reset the arena. Your turn, old man. He tosses it out as the Rhyperior comes back up. You know the drill. Rhyperior walks back down one of the tunnels, and you can actually see him just actively caving it in as he walks in.
Whoa.
I will express again, you don't have to fight that. He smiles again.
Thanks, Henry.
Nah, old man was my father's. So named, of course. He fought in the war, always was a proponent of the Pokemon League, so it only makes sense the old man's here helping me start it.
How old is he? How old are you?
Early 20s. I don't look it. He kind of rubs underneath his nose.
Ah, that's so funny.
Old man's at a retirement home in Nimbus.
I meant the Pokemon though. How old is your Rhyhorn? Or Hyperion, rather?
Ah, well, that old man. Let me give it some thought. Guess he'd be turning 67 this year.
Wow. Do I know from my Poke education the average lifespan of a Rhyperion?
Rhyperior. And yeah, totally.
Rhyperior.
Yeah, their lifespan domesticated is actually quite a bit shorter than they are in the wild.
That makes sense.
As Rhyperiors are they have their compulsions and they're very angry entities, and being domesticated tends to kind of curb that a bit, which also shortens their lifespan. But the Rhydon line, as a general rule, can live to be quite ancient. Think early 100s, something like that.
Oh, okay. That's domesticated, can be around 100?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Presumably in the wild, they might also have some sort of cycle in which they're dormant.
Yeah, long hibernation periods, yeah.
Which would presumably extend their lifespan to another degree if they are not, or if they, when they're domesticated, they're constantly doing stuff and don't have the opportunity to hibernate.
Too much wear and tear that they can't repair.
Something along those lines.
All right, well, there's a waiting area back that way, or you could always head back to town if you wanted. Be ready in a couple hours. Won't take long.
Alright, sounds good. We'll see you soon.
Elaine looks at Vigo. Maybe we should get some healing done first.
Vigo is completely oblivious to the bruises that he sustained, all along his right side as he fell, or right or left side, whichever one it was, that fell into the waterfall.
Now he's just going to be foraging for a fossil reviving machine every location.
Right.
Oh no, he could probably. So if it's not here, he knows where at least one is. It might be a while before he gets there, but
yeah, we'll need to do some healing, and then Are we still wanting to do the challenge, or I'm sorry, the battle?
Man, I want to. Also, by the way, Austin, do we get a star for completing the gym challenge, or would we only gain or lose stars from participating in the battle?
You do get a star for completing the challenge. That wasn't listed on the screen because this is the battle arena, but yeah, you would be up to 4 now if you check your Pokédex for your trainer status and all that.
Okay, so that's good. That means if we were to lose it, we would still have 3. So we have, a slightly larger margin for error.
Yeah.
That affects how much money we get whenever we complete a gym, yeah? Or is it the set of a few gyms?
I think the badge number is what affects how much money we get per gym, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, never mind then.
At the end of each league, there is a extra monetary reward for having high stars. So it does behoove. You're right in a way. It behooves you to do well in a given league.
Now,
it's not listed, but you do get reset to 3 at the end of a given league. So you go back down to 3 once you go into amateur or advanced, I should say.
Oh, fascinating. Okay.
How many stars does it take to upgrade?
It's not an upgrade system. It's just extra incentive to do well, or not get kicked out of the league. If you go below 1 star, then you lose. If you're at 5 stars at the end of the league, you get a big bonus.
Are stars listed anywhere, or should we just put them in the notes?
You can put them in your notes right now. I meant to have a handout for this. I don't. But that'll probably go in league related stuff in a minute. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up there, I think. It is, yeah.
What about money?
Yeah.
2,000 per person.
You are getting wired the gym challenge funds, so that is going to be. Let me go look at that real quick. Henry.
It's 2,000 per person and then 4,000 for the
battle.
whatchamacallit, for the gym battle.
Nice.
Yep, 2,000. Very nice.
Also, we got a magnitude.
And one more thing. Henry tosses a kind of brownish looking case your way. It almost looks like a jukebox. Not a jukebox, a record player. And that is what he showed you before the challenge.
Oh, so this is the TM?
Yep, this is the STM-04 magnitude.
Oh, wait, so do we get to learn what the S means? Like, what is
that? So that is special TM. This is not something you can get anywhere else. This is only through the gym challenges. Works the same way as the TM. This is reusable. It is learnable only by anything that can learn Earthquake.
Cool.
Via TM, that is
reusable.
to say.
Well,
yeah.
That means that, there's no reason not to use these then.
Mm-hmm. It will lock if you try and sell it or give it away to another team or whatever. It's league stuff.
Isaac.
Yes.
Your I literally can't. The thing you just caught, yes.
Barboach can learn it.
Yeah, it can learn it.
I was wondering about that because it's ground type.
Because it can learn it learns Earthquake at level 32.
Well, he said it has to be able to learn it via TM.
I think it's just if it can learn Earthquake, yeah?
Yeah. And as you walk back down the tunnel, Henry kind of calls out, "Careful not to cause any more cave-ins!" As he turns back to go kind of inspect his Rhyperior's goings-on. All right, so we're going to go ahead and end it there, guys. Thanks very much for playing.
Yeah. Very good. Woo-hoo! I assume that we aren't going to do, like, XP or anything until we do gym battle, yeah? Or levels?
No, we are going to do Session Wars right now, because you might decide to quit here.
Cool.
And you also need that extra edge for the gym battle. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm terrified.
After them losing, I was not expecting that. I'm not gonna lie. That has put a little bit of the fear of Henry in me.
Yeah, I keep forgetting he's not gonna use Old Man, but even so, like, Austin has been dropping constant yet subtle hints not to take this lightly, which is my specialty, to take things lightly. And yeah, the fact that it's 4,000 per person as well as a reward, like, it's gonna be tough.
I think the dollar signs activated in your eyes. You didn't even think that the challenge or the gym battle was going to be all that overwhelming.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect from the challenge. I was afraid it was gonna be more trouble than it was worth at one point, but I don't know. We only ever discuss it at the end of the session, so I'm always just slightly more scrambled. Didn't lock in the details all that well.
I'm going to get the XP chart really quick. Because you are going to be getting XP here. You are not going to be getting straight levels. And you can divvy up the XP however you like.
Oh, Barboach can learn Earthquake via TM as well, so it's a moot point.
Okay, so potentially something to consider here. We didn't see any fire representation in the gym challenge itself. There's a decent chance, especially considering that the STM we get out of this is Lava Plume, that we're going to be seeing significantly more fire this time.
Yeah, I would second that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now luckily I have plenty of water to add.
Mm-hmm. You're in the best position out of all of us with water. That's
fair. I am the water gym trainer in.
So Jeremiah, for Pokemon XP, you would know this better than I do because I haven't messed with this too much. When you level up, do you reset or do you keep the current XP amount and just add it on to the next level? So like
I'm
460 to 530.
Sure it's a consistent.
Okay, so if you're level 1 and you're 460 and you want to get to level 2, which is 530, you would just need 90 more XP.
I believe that is the case,
something like that.
But I'm going to check that really quick.
Okay.
Because that
70, I should say. Yeah, that will change how I distribute XP here.
Yeah, it's kind of
Add its
impactful.
experience to its previous experience total. Yeah, it's consistent. It keeps it. You do not reset.
Cool. Okay, good to know. So let me check here.
Can I go ahead and apply? Did we say it's magnitude?
Yes,
Yep.
magnitude is the move.
Can I go ahead and apply it to my sheet, or will I need downtime that we're not guaranteed to get or something?
Well, we have a couple hours, he said, so
Okay.
I assume we have enough time to apply
Yeah.
it. I don't know what the rules around
And you
it are.
wouldn't necessarily have to do the battle as soon as you need to. He's just saying, at
Right.
minimum, he needs 2 hours to reset.
Yeah.
Okay. We do need to do it fairly quick because we're not going to have much time to enjoy the festival.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should heal and get back in there.
Yeah, same.
Okay. So there you go. That's plus 15 trainer XP, plus 400 Pokemon XP distributed as desired.
Do you think also somewhere you could put in friendship increase?
Definitely. I was actually just thinking the same thing.
That'd be hype.
So
Did you make these character sheets?
So what we're going to do is,
Did you make these sheet templates, or is this a?
Oh, the stuff on Roll20. I didn't make that stuff.
Okay, she made it sound like you were customizing it live.
So what we're going to do is, at the end of each, let's say each gym, shall we? We're going to have a re-summary of the arc that has been this particular gym, and we'll vote on most impactful Pokemon human-related moments, and we'll divvy out friendship that way, shall we? So, assuming you are going to be doing the gym battle, we'll wait on that until after the gym battle, and then we'll kind of, I'll go back through some of the recordings and find some of the cool moments. We'll talk about that at the end of the this particular gym. Is that cool?
Yeah, I think we'll just have to make sure we're keeping track of good moments because it's going to be difficult to remember them otherwise. Because I mean, gyms are going to be like the gym battles are the like ends of like miniature arcs almost. So I mean, it took us how many sessions just to get through the first one?
Yeah,
so,
it's gonna be 15 sessions for this. Yeah, assuming you complete it next session.
Put experience friendship between Pokemon few and far between.
Well, maybe not few, but yeah, certainly far between.
Yeah, sorry.
Next question. I currently am sitting on 5 experience. That means I would be level 9.
Yeah, so I think it's a total.
Is that accurate?
Bring us to 9.
Yep,
Okay.
you'd be ranking up twice probably because that's 15 XP.
Alright. Level 9.
Nice. I had a solution. I just lost it. We could say after every gym we always reevaluate the last arc, but then if we find a moment, like we could supplement with more moments case by case, if that makes sense. Saying like, I think we've done enough to warrant a new like Pokemon friendship level ahead of the gym.
Totally, and like I think like it's obvious that like a lot of these friendships are building up rather organically, anyways. I'm doing this purely to take the burden off my little brain. This is just less for me to manage in an already very management-heavy game to assign friendship all the time. And also, this manages how fast you can rank up friendship, because if you were to award a whole friendship rank for moment-to-moment communication and hanging out, then you would be ranking up very, very quick in this campaign. So I think I like this solution. But if it ends up being just too much, we can discuss alternatives.
I trust your judgment.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and change music. And unless anybody has any closing remarks here, I want to go ahead and end the recording. Is that cool?
Yeah, I'm
Sounds
good.
good to me.
Bye-bye, recording.
Good night, recording.
All right. Thanks for watching.